So, episode 3 here with Filip. And today, if any of you are unaware, haven't seen him online, today's episode is going to be massively all about muscle ups, pull ups, as he is definitely a specialist in those movements for sure. If you haven't seen his stuff online, I'd highly check it out. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time out on this weekend to chat with me.
Yeah, thank you for invitation, and I'm really happy that we can make this today.
Good. So, how are you doing anyway? You all good? Everything all good?
Yeah, I just finished my university exams like a week ago. I had last one, so now I have holiday. I can train. I can enjoy summer. I enjoy life basically.
What are you studying?
I study inorganic chemistry master's degree right now.
Oh wow! And then what have you done the same topic subject at like bachelor's level?
It was like a general chemistry program. So it was like I continue in same lab with my thesis and so on, but the program was like slightly different, slightly wider.
Okay, and are you looking to take that further into education? PhD level? Yeah.
I would really like to. It's a goal.
Wow. Okay, and then and is there an end goal with that of maybe where you want that to take you?
I would like to work in research, simply like as a scientist.
No way. Okay. Do you know what? I wasn't expecting this at all. I like this. This is good.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's something that can like fulfill me, it will be a job that I would really enjoy doing, that it will like challenge my mind. I want to have like both the mental side of life and the physical, because I think it's a good approach to life. Like the physical stuff, it's super enjoyable and it brings health and so on. But shit can happen, and I can injure myself and so on. And life is not always perfect, and I will still have the second thing that I like and that I can be good at and that can fulfill me. So it's also like, I believe it's good to have a mental activity that you enjoy and a physical activity that you enjoy in life. I think it's good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Is in terms of the research that you're looking to do? I know this is off topic, but like I'm finding it interesting. Is there any specific area of expertise within that field?
Like right now, I am in a lab that does like organometallic chemistry, and it's super interesting. I definitely want to stay there for PhD, and I will see what happens after. I still have some years, so
yeah,
I will see.
No, I like it. Okay, and then I mean, in regards to the physical side, training. Have you trained today?
I did not yet. I will go for a run after we finish, but otherwise I have rest day today.
Okay, and I mean, typically, how often are you sort of training during the week?
I usually have a schedule. It depends on how much time I need to spend at university. But if I am more busy, I have hard training on Saturday. Then I have quite hard training on Tuesday and easy on Thursday. And I go for a run on any days. That's like, but it's a low effort. I don't try to improve anymore in running. I just enjoy the activity. So that's on any day. Based on season, 4 to 7 times per week running, medium, slow intensity and endurance running. And the trainings these 3 days. And if I have more time, I do hard rest, easy rest, repeat schedule. So that's that fits me a bit more because it's like more symmetrical. I can do the high quality session every 4 days.
Yeah,
but it's not a 7 days cycle, which is not good if I have a lot of stuff to do.
No, I get you. Okay. So, what I'd like to do, if I want to sort of rewind back a bit, because I'm intrigued to know a little bit more in terms of any kind of strength or sporting athletic background that you may have, and basically just like where you've come from to end up obviously as a specialist within muscle up and pull ups?
Yeah, so I started as basically a runner or a track and field guy. Then I moved to orienteering, which is like for those who don't know, it's endurance sport. I would say that physically it's like something between 5K on the track and half marathon, maybe even full marathon in the like senior category. But I quit before the long distance races became long up to the 120 minutes or something. So equivalent to those distances, but you also have to navigate yourself at the same time. So that were my like sports that I did, that I competed in. And I did a bit of like strength training, not necessarily as an accessory to those sports because it didn't help me, but I enjoyed it. I wanted to look good during puberty, but it was not something like really serious. I just did some pull-ups and some push-ups basically, and I reached something like beginner to slightly intermediate level, and the progress was like really slow. I improved, I don't know, 2 pull-ups per year in average, which was okay for me back then. I had no goals in it. And in 2020,
what kind of age was that?
I started pull-ups when I was like 10. I could do maybe 4 like really half reps weird form. Like when kids do pull-ups, it's often that they struggle to connect the whole movement through the scapula and the start. So this part that is now easiest for me was like really tricky. So I was doing something like this, not a full pull-up. But yeah, that was the 10 years old level approximately. And before I started seriously, I could 25 a bit better pull-ups.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And maybe 70 push-ups based on pace and technique. So that was like a 7 years, for example, of process, which can be done in, I don't know, a year or 2 years based on the genetic potential of a person. So that was not like a super focused training, but it gave some base. My connective tissue and my muscles knew the movements at least a bit. So that it was a great start point when I went seriously into it at 2020 when I was 7.
For sure. So from that sort of 10 years old age, the running was happening during that period as well. Up until around the sort of 2020, would you say, in terms of your main focus?
I quit competitive running in 2022.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Even a bit later after I already trained pull-ups seriously. But it was mainly because of the combination with university. It would be painful, and I didn't want to anymore. I had no like really great potential in that. I could have been like on some competitions. I was, for example, top 5 in my age category or something.
Okay.
And I really put a lot of work into it. I don't say that I couldn't do better. I of course could. But it was like I enjoyed my years as a child, and in puberty I had a great friend group, and we visited amazing places on training camps through whole Europe and so on. But it was time to finish with it, basically.
No, I get you. And can you still map read?
I didn't understand.
Can you still map read well?
I can read the map well, I would say, but if I had to navigate myself fast through the forest, it would be likely very terrible. Also, I don't run in the terrain anymore. I run on trails, and when I am in city, I run on asphalt basically. So if someone gives me a map and I have to navigate myself fast in terrain, that would be like really hard for my like balance and so on. I would be, if I wanted to read it fast, I would risk some ankle injuries likely and so on. So
yeah, no, I get you. Okay, and then obviously you mentioned about introducing sort of pull-ups and stuff while you were running. That kind of leads me on because I was going to ask what came first, muscle up or pull-ups for you.
I really wanted to do muscle ups even when I was runner and I was not serious in the strength training, but I couldn't do it well. I was too weak. So
Okay.
I was like I was able to do like a CrossFit muscle ups. I was able to rep it easily, but I couldn't do strict muscle up when I started seriously. I could like 10 reps with like a CrossFit muscle up, but
Yeah.
it was not a CrossFit muscle up in its true form that is actually coordinated and performed in a way that it should be performed. It was just that I did not understand the movement at all, and it was like swing up, keep up, and so on.
Okay. And then, I mean, did pursuing pull-ups more serious come before focusing on muscle-ups to improve them, or is this all kind of happening at the same time?
I knew that I have to get stronger in the pull-ups,
Okay.
but I did not know much about the sport yet. I did not know that. I trained when I started training. There was like year before it. There was biggest competition in Czech Republic's history, the Czech weighted workout battle of 2019.
Okay.
And such competitions were already taking place, but I didn't know the sport. I was like, I'm doing pull-ups, and then I want to pull higher. I want to do one-arm pull-ups, and so on. So I was like, okay, I logically want to load the exercise, but I didn't know that it's a competitive sport back then. I only realized when I like started to post my training on Instagram. Back then it was like very small account with 100 people or something. And I started to see other guys and I was like, wow, I saw Matthew Zlat, Andrei Alexandrov, that's a one-arm pull-up specialist, if you know him.
Yeah.
And some other guys like this, like the OG lifters from 2020 and before. And only then I realized that this is a whole sport and so on. Back then, when I started, like weighted pull-up was a tool for me to achieve one-arm pull-up and better muscle up.
I know I can really relate to that because it was a similar thing for me where I was training, like if we say street lifting movements, but had no idea that a sport even existed. And then when I found out, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what like the perfect thing, the perfect sport. Yeah. Okay. So would you say then, I'm assuming based on what you said in terms of like muscle up, the pull up for you is a very key movement to maybe ceiling potential of the muscle up, or at least for a beginner to obviously start being able to, be able to start training the muscle up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think pull-up should be a priority for everyone who wants a good muscle up, at least to some point. But later, some athletes may develop a technique that is less or more pull dependent, like the guys with, let's say, highest muscle up to pull up ratio that have basically really good muscle up and really bad pull up, but they often don't have bad pull up. They lift really impressive numbers. It's just so we distinguish it. They have like the really triceps dominant transition that when they can lay like this and do the triceps extension pattern. And for them, maybe the pull-up is not that crucial, and they actually need to put a lot of work into other qualities of the movement. And they can, for example, pull 80, 90 kg, and they do muscle-ups with 45 or 50 in good form this way, which is like for someone else who cannot do this transition. For example, I did not find out how to do this. I either have weak triceps, I obviously have, but even the trajectory, I didn't find out how to do it effectively. I can take a light weight and imitate the movement pattern that Benji does, but it's not effective for me. It's like, okay, I did this. It looks on the video like in a similar way, but if I should load this heavy, I'm like, no way. it doesn't work. Yeah, so for those guys, maybe the pull-up is not that crucial, and there is different quality that they should work on later.
Yeah.
Of course, while maintaining strong pull-up.
Yep.
But for other guys, it's basically just high pull-up, and then being able to transition somehow pretty well, preferably.
Sure.
But it's like for many guys, it will be like they maintain muscle up, they add 10 kg to a pull up in a year, and their muscle up would grow proportionally without much effort.
Yeah. I mean, while on the subject of transition and stuff, so your muscle up, for those that haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend checking out Filip's Instagram. I would refer to your muscle up as a very unique style, unorthodox, and very unorthodox, but it works, and it works. You've managed to make it work like really well. Is that something that was intentionally done? Did it just happen? Like, I'm intrigued to see how that's come about.
Like, it was like a really long process, and I was finding out how to transition effectively. I was trying like some smooth wrist rotations. I was trying the no wrist rotation with the triceps dominant transition. I was trying the regular, let's say, paracol transition with wrist turn, fast wrist turn, but elbow stays behind.
Yes.
And I was like, well, if I do the fast transition, the elbow doesn't stay behind for me naturally. And it just, through time, it started to happen that I flare them more and more. Mm-hmm. And basically it just evolved this way. And later I realized, okay, I can even like do this intentionally. When I do the last rep, I can just throw the elbows in front and I stay up without much movement down and so on. And this way, it's through time, it evolved. And right now, on let's say coordinated days, I can do this willingly during the 1 rep max and transition really at a low point. But it's not that I would be successful 10 out of 10 trainings with this like really efficient style. Sometimes I need to transition a bit higher because I simply lose symmetry or something breaks and then it doesn't work.
Is that something you would sort of recommend to people learning? Is it something you would say probably don't do it? Like how do you go about when people ask you for advice and stuff when they see obviously how your muscle up looks?
Well, this is tricky. I would definitely say that they shouldn't force it. It's same as me and the triceps dominant transition. They can try it, and if they are not naturally better at it, and if it's not quite naturally pain-free, I never, only recently, only last year, I do some exercises for my shoulder health and so on, but I didn't need it before. I had no pain from it, and I did not do any physiotherapy stuff for it. It just was natural for me. I didn't need anything. So if you are like me and can do this and it feels natural, then master it and you will be able to transition really low, and that means to lift really heavy. But if it doesn't feel natural, and you maybe even lift less in this technique compared to others, I would say that it's likely a way to hell, because the position is mechanically extremely demanding. And if it doesn't feel good, maybe your bone length ratios are different than mine, or your tendons are inserted at slightly different places, and just don't force it. It will not be a good way. You can muscle up really well in other techniques, maybe even better with the triceps dominant one. It may be a superior one with no that range of motion at all.
Yeah. Do you find your style, it allows you to catch yourself sort of lower, as in you don't need to pull as high? Obviously pulling higher is going to help, but do you find that it allows you to get away with less height on that transition?
Yeah, it's I can pull to really low height. I transition at my nipples height. I know that if I am like, it's also about the angle. Like if I am like this, of course the nipple height is not enough. But if I am more or less vertical, which I have to be
Yep.
to muscle up, then I know that when I pull the nipples, I can hold it basically there.
Yeah.
And so that's a really low height, I would say. It's very efficient. I think it's slightly more efficient than staying with the elbows behind, unless you have like really, really good mobility that I don't have in this era. I have the mobility here, but not in the other way.
Yeah. No, I get you. Okay. And then in terms of, because I think I'm pretty sure your grip width's fairly narrow, right? Quite a, not like overly narrow, but it's quite a narrow grip width.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your take on grip width when it comes to the muscle up?
It has to be pretty narrow for everyone, I would say, but for maybe not as narrow for me as is for me, because I have pretty like narrow shoulders. Simply my build is for a narrow grip. My like wingspan is 10, almost 10, like 9 centimeters less than my height. I lose a bit on very very small hands. So
Okay.
maybe that's like just from the wrist. I lose 5 centimeters compared to average person, likely. But yeah, still I have short arms and narrow shoulders. So
Yeah.
that's why I pull more narrow than others, I would say. But still, like in narrow grip, the acceleration is usually way better. And
Yeah.
also, if the grip is wide, the transition is awkward. Like if you turn the wrist and you are like wide, it's very weird. If you
Yeah.
don't turn, you can like triceps extension it maybe, but still, I would say if you can do like this, it's better with the triceps extension pattern. So for muscle up, simply quite narrow grip should be better for like everyone. Of course, if we talk about 200 centimeters tall guy with mega wingspan and really wide shoulders, then he will grab way wider than me, but it will still be quite narrow grip.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in terms of grip, obviously in competition when it comes to street lifting, we're going to see like maybe I'll call it a semi-false grip. So wrist not in contact with the bar. I'd assume regardless of competition or not, that's going to be something you're going to recommend and not going with, say, a regular style, just grip.
Yeah, I would say that like putting the wrist on the bar kind of destroys the movement. It takes away part of the challenge that is the like disadvantageous hand position on the bar at start. That has to
Yeah.
somehow change when you before you like get into the support hold at the top, or you
Yeah.
need really good mobility in the wrist. So I would
Yeah.
suggest everyone to not train with the false grip. It's like I would say that it takes away part of the fun.
Yeah. Where is your grip in terms of like, if we say like the main sort of knuckles you would punch someone with, are they kind of sat on top of the bar?
I would say that they are, yeah, like they are quite on top, but I don't grip, for example, from here. Like
No.
I don't use like a really strong semi-false grip. Of course, I rotate my wrists quite a
Yeah.
lot, but
Yeah.
not a crazily lot. Maybe sometimes in rep sets, it happens that when I go down, I don't rotate the wrists enough, and then I have like a
Okay.
semi-false grip.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for one rep max, I usually have like simply, I don't know if it is not the bar diameter, so like this maybe.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It makes sense. It's probably similar to the grip I would use, to be fair. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Like I find if quite a bit more of a false grip, I see a lot of people sort of almost over rotate at the top, where the hand almost slips off the bar. Anything much that you would advise in those situations, or would it simply be the starting grip too far over?
Like if they tend to over rotate the grip, I would likely suggest to like imagine the thumb as some barrier that holds on the other side. But I did not actually encounter someone with this problem yet. I encountered it if people used thumb on bar. Like some of my clients had this, and I always tell them put it down. It's like also for safety, so you don't like put your arm on the other side of the bar, because this is quite ugly position if one arm stays up and the other falls to the other side. It's not very good.
So thumb over is a no for you for muscle up.
Like thumb has to be under, I would say.
Yeah. Would you apply that to the pull up as well, or would that depend?
I would say that in pull up it doesn't matter that much. There is not this slipping aspect. I would say that like thumb under bar may like be a bit stronger grip, that you can actually like squeeze the bar really strongly. But I am not sure if it's that beneficial under final rep standard, because this very hard squeeze would help during stretch reflex, when there is a big power transfer to the bar, but that's already illegal move. So maybe it doesn't matter, and maybe even someone may benefit from thumb on bar, because some people say that they like can better activate their latissimus in the top part this way. I don't have this experience really, because I don't remember basically last time I trained seriously with thumb on bar. So for me, it just feels weird when I try. But for someone, it may actually help likely. It seems like a good argument for this grip. And because of the stretch reflex, the main advantage goes away, I would say.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Back onto the topic of false grip. So this is probably more for beginners, really. Maybe just after that beginner level. But in terms of that kind of grip you're going to use for the muscle up, obviously a bit of a false grip going on, right? So not a proper false grip, but for those that are struggling to hold that position, yes, the bar could be shit, so it could be slippery, so it's hard to keep your hand where it needs to be. But have you ever had to use anything for yourself, or maybe people that you've worked with, where to try and get them stronger in that position to maintain a good grip?
I think I trained myself false grip a bit because I wanted to improve like ring muscle up. It felt really bad for me to do ring muscle ups and to do slow muscle ups with false grip. So I just did like assisted pull-ups, like Australian pull-ups with the desired grip. And I adapted my wrist to this position. Also, it's very important to like use really good bar and good chalk. If the chalk and bar are bad, then you cannot much save yourself through some strength in the wrist. Maybe if you are arm wrestler or something, then you like won't lose anything on bad equipment. But I would say that most people will lose on it. So I, for example, use since I don't compete, I don't have to care about competition specific bar. I always use grip tape and good liquid chalk.
I think for some people it's probably going to be more beginners, but how important the grip of the bar and chalk or whatever, how important it actually is and how much of a difference it can make. So I think even if you don't have a good bar, even tape on the bar is going to help with chalk.
Yeah, the tape is like for most bars, and especially in some gyms that are not well or air conditioned or something, it's like a game changer. For example, I can give example from a session somewhere in the spring, and I have an outside park near my house, and the surface of the bar is like really bad. I used chalk and I did 3 muscle ups with 32 kg dead stop. And the last rep, I like felt on some symmetry, like it would be a chicken wing or something. And I retaped the bar and I did a triple with 40 kg RPE 10, but it was
Still.
like 8 kg difference basically
Yeah.
from that easy session. Maybe if like I was not fatigued, but on the session the ratios would be slightly different, but it was 8 kg and on the same triple, like they were one set after other. I expected that the tape will do big change, so that's why I was like, okay, I load it more.
Yeah.
This is like example, but it's like really individual. It depends how good the tape is and how bad the bar is and so on, and maybe
That's
even
it.
on fatigue and so on. But
yeah, the last time because it's been a while since I've competed in street lifting, but the last time I did, it was in Spain, and warming up muscle ups, there was one bar that had tape, and I thought, oh, let me try this, and I tried it, and it was the best grip I've ever felt, but I wasn't used to it, and I literally ripped every single callus across both hands before even attempting my first attempt. So it was almost too good. I think I just hadn't been conditioned for that kind of grip. But it does make a difference, such a difference.
Yeah, like good bar, like it makes a big difference for me.
Yeah. So with the muscle up, do you have any lifts that you train separate for carryover to improve performance for the muscle up? Is there anything that you know your go-tos?
It's like max power output pull up, preferably in narrow grip, but even in like not too wide grip has a great carryover. It doesn't have to be necessarily same grip width as muscle up, especially if it's loaded more, because I often use like this max power output pull up. I would call it chest to bar pull up, but sometimes I load it in a way that I can't pull to chest anymore. So for example, I take 90 kg, and if I grip really like this, the top part is becoming too weird. So I widen it a bit, and I believe it still has a really great carryover. It simply teaches you to pull extremely fast and extremely hard. So that's my favorite exercise for muscle up, like explosive pull up, basically max power output pull up.
I like that. I mean, the way I've always looked at it is so for instance, if you said like trying to pull chest to bar, because you're trying to pull that much higher, it then becomes a much faster pull just by having that focus of, oh, I'm trying to pull here now, not just to try and just get my chin up. So you instantly increase the velocity of the pull. Just by aiming for a different part. I like that, because I've always looked at I like to look at lifts, not necessarily just street lifting, but lifts based on velocity, and depending on how quick the movement moves, that could be the strength quality you're working. However, most people don't have devices to be able to monitor velocity. So then I'm like, well, if you pull chest to bar, for me, that's a more explosive speed, so I know you're moving quicker, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I always like tell my clients to implement this exercise as like at start of your trainings, whatever you do, it can be some even like hypertrophy rep range for pull up, whatever. I tell them do some like really submaximal singles. It can touch chest, it can just touch here, and rest between them to absolutely full recovery and give them absolute all. Like really focus on pulling as high as possible, beat your all height PR, and I believe this is really good.
Is that before whatever they're gonna like before they do their pull up stuff?
Before their session, basically.
That's good. So I'd look at that as you're using it to potentiate their nervous system, so that when it comes to the real work, they should be flying.
And at the same time, it's the extra work for the specific,
relatively
specific for the muscle up. So I really like these warm ups.
Yeah, that's clever. I like that a lot. It's something I use in a lot of things, even like complete other end of the spectrum in terms of movements. But in terms of squatting, I'll get someone to do some kind of explosive box jumps for a few sets, maybe add a little bit of weight before they go do their squats, just to get them firing. Yeah. So it's the same concept, which, yeah, it's clever and it works. Like you said, it works really well. Do you go off any data in terms of like say predictor lists in terms of if their chest to bar is around this, they could be able to do this for the muscle up, or is it more so of just improve it and then your muscle up will improve?
I would say like there is clearly like a correlation, but it's a weak correlation because some guys can, for example, if we look at the lock pull up to chin to bar pull up ratio, there will be guys who will lock 2.5 or 5 kg or even those 2.5 kg less than they pull chin to bar, and they even pause with the chin on the bar. That's like a Dima Vlasov's style of athlete. Or I had a guy, like a client, and he is from Great Britain, Daniel Andrews. He makes some content too, and he exactly like this. He pauses his 1 rep max on the bar, and if he takes 1-2 kg less, he already locks it. So this guy will like pull to upper chest a lot of weight, but he will muscle up a little because he has a really great strength in this range of motion, like from here to here in the pull up.
Yeah,
he can grind there. He can go there pretty slowly, and he touches the chest with, I don't know, 60 kg, but he does only like 20-25 for muscle up. And someone else will touch chest with 60 kg. He will be like a speed puller, very weak in the top part, and he will muscle up 35. I would say 40, but I'm not sure.
No, that makes sense. And then what about any? So you've got the chest to bar. Do you train pulling higher without the transition? For instance, I don't know, upper abdominals as low as maybe belly button, hips. I don't know. Do you do any of this?
Yes, I basically try to pull as high as possible with given weights. So I try to improve by time the height I pull with each particular weight.
Would you go into a session? Would you have sessions where you're like, right, today I'm pulling, I want to make sure whatever weight selection I'm picking, it's based on pulling to a specific height?
I have sessions where I want to finish all sets clavicle above bar, and I choose weight based on that. Like, for me, it's like, okay, this still moves so fast and it's so easy that it won't mess up my next hard session, for example. But like many times the best heights in the explosive pulling, it's done as warm up for some really important session. So, for example, when I peaked for 60 kg muscle up, I did really great 30 kg, basically hips above bar, like a no dip muscle up with 30 kg, and it was a height PR at that weight, but it was just a warm up process for the big lift coming. I actually failed it back then, but I primed myself well.
Would you use that as like a kind of a marker of like, okay, because I've just PR'd that potentiation pool, I should be in a good place now to muscle up something big today.
I even have like a series of videos of these warm-ups from some important sessions from past when I did really well. And I actually, during the warm-up, I compare it. Like I try to record from same height, so there is same angle, and I see like the lines between abdominal muscles. I have a good points to compare to the bar. So because if I see that I lack a lot of height, then I know that I will just fail the very heavy weight. There is usually either I can somehow like trick my body to work, like prolonging the warm up, or like if I am too hot, like washing my head with cold water or something. But usually it means that I have to go lighter, that I didn't prepare well enough for the session.
So then, based on that, then so you're going to now you're going to self-regulate and adjust the session because of how things are going before you're getting into the real stuff. Yeah, which I think is like important, right? Because a lot of people won't, and they'll still try to get that goal they wanted that day.
Yeah, it's usually it doesn't work, unfortunately.
I think that comes with time and experience, right? Like you've had enough experience with muscle-ups, with pull-ups to know, like, today it's not there, or today, okay, we're going for it, it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
I sometimes even like, I don't want to encourage this approach at all, but for example, in May, I did my best outside session ever, since I have like a set of PRs for outside sessions and for gym sessions, since I don't consider them like equal. And I did my strongest outside session with 52.5 kg double in that stop. And I did it on previously easy day. It wasn't like I had even some slight muscle pain in rear delts. And during the warm up, I realized like, this is amazing. I need to use this day. Simply, by weight, I will not be this strong in the gym in 2 days on hard session. There is no way. I can't prepare myself this way. I never did. So let's smash it today. And because I am not bound, some competition is on 15th, I need to be strong there. So I went and I did the best double of my life, basically.
Oh wow!
On a day when I should have been pretty weak, but I realized that I am super strong, actually.
To take advantage of it, basically.
Yeah.
What's the separation between your indoor and outdoor PBs? What's this based on?
Outdoor, I have to carry a wheelbarrow with the plates to the park. It's like,
how far?
It's downhill, but it's like, I don't know, 600 or 800 meters.
Okay.
So it's sometimes it's a bit of bump to the traps, but I try to make it as effortless as possible. I try to balance the plates well in the wheelbarrow, so it's like little pressure, and so it goes by the gravity, but it's slight difference. Also, it's just outside. There is sun, there is wind. It's not like always the same gym thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you train any dip related movements for muscle up, or do you just find like if you can pull it, you're going to be able to dip it?
I currently don't train, but I consider it as options for future.
Okay.
If I want to improve my endurance muscle ups, I definitely have to improve my dips, because I like really, my chest gets really cooked during the sets, because like in the stretch in the bottom, like this gets a hit, and then it gets a hit during the movement on the bar, clearly. So I believe that would improve my endurance pretty significantly. And also, if I ever would compete, I would likely train the rotated deep dips, so I avoid any unnecessary, like entirely unnecessary fails on downward motion where it shouldn't happen, or some symmetry loss or something like this, simply to be sure that when I am at the top, I do everything in a valid way. Because right now I don't care if like the pause on my, when I like adjust everything is too long. I consider the movement done, and I don't care. I already kicked before during the pulling motion. I don't play like it's valid. It's like I don't care. But if I would compete, I would likely implement this to not make some unnecessary mistakes.
Okay.
That would like be I would be sad about failing a big lift on something like this. I would be like, then I should have trained it. That was like a low hanging fruit, such low effort to do. Yeah. So
that's essentially straight bar dips, but intentionally being in that really deep, extreme depth that your muscle up ends up in.
I did it in like when I started training. I did a bit of push, and I sometimes did a straight bar dip, but the bottom point was like chin touching the bar, like this.
Okay.
But I didn't load it. Like I did it with body weight, really easy with a big reserve, so it was not like dangerous or it was actually a good exercise.
Yeah. But it makes sense because, like, if you're going to end up in that position during the muscle up, it makes sense that it's probably out of the whole movement. It's one of the most vulnerable places for maybe getting injured. So if you can isolate it and get stronger there, the less chance of if you land weird, you're fine. Yeah. So it makes sense. So you said about, like maybe a bit of kipping, which you mentioned. Obviously for you, it doesn't matter really. You're doing your thing. It's irrelevant to competition. Because it's quite a common thing, right? In terms of, and it's important for those that compete, whether you kip at the knees, maybe too much hip flexion, so like the legs come up too far. Any approaches to help iron that out for those that struggle, because it's quite a common issue that we see people get red lighted for all the time.
I would say that if you know that you have competitions and in a plan in the year or in whatever way you structure your training, you just need to give enough time in the competition form and to quit the compensations entirely. To be really effective. Because right now, for example, if I have a really strong day, I would still like mess up weights that I rep basically by some involuntarily knee kip. Like if I was like, if some people tell me, just go set a record. You train in a way that you do those 55 kg 2 times per month. But it doesn't work like this. Like I can be super strong. There can be a potential for doing it clean, but if the body doesn't know it, it doesn't happen in 2 weeks by doing few clean sessions. It has to be absolutely automatized. Like at least a full macro cycle of training, multiple months, for example.
I couldn't agree more. No, I'm really happy you said that, because it's almost, it becomes ingrained right in the motor pattern, and it's, even if you're like, oh, don't kip, it's likely going to happen if that's all you've been doing. So you need time to recalibrate and reteach the body, the nervous system. No, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it like this. So I mean, what you're saying makes sense. I guess for you as an athlete, your objective at the moment is, I'm not too bothered if I compensate anywhere. I'm trying to move the most amount of weight from A to B. Simple as that. Is that what you would say? Or is there a fine line to how far you allow yourself to compensate?
I want to avoid, let's say, maximizing the compensation, because if compensation is allowed, it's let's look at twitch reflex. If we allow it in final rep, which has been partially allowed already, like the downward motion is now less strict than it was, I think.
It was crazy strict before.
So if it's legal in like any way, people would start like, and they would maximize this basically a compensation or a compensation pattern. And I don't want to like maximize compensation patterns in my training. Like I don't want to learn how to keep more. I don't want to learn how to do more stretch reflex. And of course, partially always happens when the pattern is allowed. It's being trained. It's being basically improved in a way.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't want to target it like specifically to like
Okay.
move the weight more with my kip or something.
No, I get it. That makes sense. Would you
So
have you found? No, go on. Sorry, finish. Go on.
yeah, so I would say that I try to like not limit myself in the lifts by form breakdown. That okay, I keep to some point, I compensate here and there, but it's because I want to give better stimulus to my central nervous system, non-specific one to the competition form, but a specific one to simply moving more weight faster.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, without like training the compensations on purpose.
Yeah. Have you found like that stretch reflex? How much of a difference it makes to your potential? Would you say there's a lot in it, or not so much? Like,
My compensation at start of the rep is slightly different than the traditional bounce with the plates.
yeah.
It's like a hamstring curl motion. I curl the weights backwards by my heels,
Okay.
and the plates actually don't sink, but it leads to kipping.
Ah. Okay.
And
Okay.
actually, recently, or like since April, I really tried to eliminate this from my muscle ups because uh, it wasn't present. Then I overworked something and I started to compensate this way because if I initiate with straight legs and go into like slight arch and then go to C shape,
Yep.
it pressured my core and lower back a lot. And 2 years ago in summer, I simply overworked something and this compensation started to occur. And I was like, okay, I have some goals to hit. It doesn't matter. They are not in competition form anyway. I will just get stronger. But right now, I think I already have to like start to eliminate this. I put plates in front more often. I am careful on it during the plates between muscle ups, and I allow it only in some really heavy weight and only on some sessions, not like regularly. I don't do it much anymore. Of course, it's not like approach that I would start from really light and entirely without it because I don't need to care that much. I can be like slower, and if it doesn't work, I will go the like way that I would recommend to the competitive athlete if this fails, which can fail. I don't have the success yet. I don't have like 55 kg plus without this compensation yet, which would
Okay.
that's only way to prove that it worked to lift actually really heavy without it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What in terms of the placement of the plates, like, what's your go-to, and is there any specific you recommend in terms of, because now we're seeing mostly in comps it's between the legs, squeeze them, or sort of a flat plate style across the shins?
I would say that it's like really individual. I would say that athletes who are maybe like faster and tend to arch more should try to put plates between, and maybe a slightly slower guy who easily like sustains the C shape and
Yep.
or like only neutral tend to C shape
Yep.
during the rep, then they should put on the plates. On the plates on the shins, sorry.
Chins. Yeah.
Yeah, on the shins. And I think everyone should try like
Try.
both,
Yeah.
like because we may think that one works better, one works worse for us, but I think trying and actually training in that way for a few months, it won't hurt in the long term, and it's worth an attempt.
Yeah.
I am stronger slightly with plates between, but just like maybe 2.5 kg.
Okay. So yeah, they're close.
My best result with plates on shin is 55 kg, and I would say on that day I could 57.5 with plates between.
Wow.
I couldn't
Okay.
like, so it's less than 5 kg definitely. difference, maybe 2.5. And on days when I am like a bit slow, I would say that the difference almost disappears. Actually,
okay.
like
Interesting.
it's a bit fatigue dependent, I would say, for me.
Yeah. And the height in terms of down by almost just above your feet. I've seen some people, across the quads, your knees. Have you found much difference in these? Any pros, cons?
Like about the height, I would say it has to be like between feet, and if we put it in front, it has to not touch our knees, because at least for me, if I touch the plates by my knees and want to press forward, I like very intuitively press my knees forward, and that means like putting heels backwards and instantly invalidate the rep. Even though I would likely lift more, this way I would actually lift more than 55, I would say, with plates in front. But it would be like a really shit show technique. It would be like it would have nothing in common already with a good sport.
Yeah.
So I would suggest to not touch the knees. It has to be like below knees. And what I found out recently, when I tried to go cleaner on some sessions, it really helps me when I press to the plates with like almost tip of my feet. That way I could do pretty high RPE with very decent form. I would say even like valid knees. Of course, there is a conflict of interest. I want to believe that I'm good and so on. But that way I would say that I can do pretty high RPE without invalid knees movement. And when I have the plates like higher, still on the shin, I tend to bend knees more in a straight up invalid way. And if we put them between the legs, I would say that the feet should be on the bottom part of the plates, but there should be a good amount of surface for contact. I would say putting too low is unnecessary because we have a harder job in doing the straight leg raise through the movement. It may be unnecessary to put the center of mass too low.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure you drop off the box and pull straight away. Is that right? You drop, pull.
Sometimes and sometimes not. It depends.
Okay.
But yeah, if I want to lift most weight, I go straight off the box. I think it's like a way to better utilize the momentum from the box and lift more. Like I dead stop pretty often because it's like a coordination friendly. I have a lot of time to think how to do everything. And for example, on outside sessions when I want to have plates between, I need to basically do that stop because I don't have a good box setup. I have good box setup for plates in front, but that's because I can go on a bit lower bar where I would hit the ground with the plates between because the tip of them is lower. So there I do that stop by default.
Yeah. I think I found a similar thing in that dropping and pulling, you can take more advantage of that sort of, we'll call it stretch reflex, because essentially there is, but like you said, if you're gonna sort of dead stop and swing, there's more time to get the timing of the pull. It's become quite a popular thing I've noticed with French athletes in streetlifting I don't know where that's come from, but they all swing and pull. I'm not sure why, but obviously, it's not a bad thing. But it's interesting to see that they prefer it.
I think it's maybe like on the competition, when I'm not sure how much you can play with the box and bar setup if you know that it will be exact this distance and exact this far from box to bar and so on. If I, for example, would get like some not really nice plate setup, which I mean not fully symmetrical.
Yeah.
I would likely struggle with coordinating the, let's say, one-shot muscle up there. So I would just go dead stop by default because I know that I don't lose much, maybe 1-2 kg maximum, like even a bit less, maybe even less, maybe like 1 kg.
Okay.
And it will be safe. I know that I would not mess up absolutely unnecessarily. So I would say that maybe that's the reason, or maybe just they want to go in a honest way.
Yeah, I mean, there could be that element of trying to keep it as like traditional and clean and as possible. Pulling line with the muscle up, is your objective trying to keep as close to the bar, obviously within reason, because you have to get around it? Is that kind of where you're going with your pulling line? Is there any specifics on that you have?
Yes, I try to be like close to the bar and I try to swing a little, but it's not like that I would force the distance between the bar and me. It's more regulated by the amount of swing. And the amount of swing for me, like if I do, for example, body weight or 10 kg, I feel like, okay, if I swing a lot, I just like fly. It's yeah. But when I load more weight, 20, 30, 40 kg, I realize I need a little, I need less and less and less swing to be optimal. I even practiced no swing muscle ups quite a lot, and the difference between no swing and swing is often surprisingly low for me. It can be just as low as 2.5 kg to start from like real equilibrium. No, like almost no swing, but like really real equilibrium position, real no swing. And I did, for example, 55 kg this way in March or February. I don't know.
What, just from no swing, just pull?
Yeah, like from fully equilibrium position.
Wow. Okay.
And I think this just shows how like how little swing you need for the muscle up. That you need it. You want to utilize the extra momentum, of course, but you really want just a little bit to have good trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the way I'm always looking at it is, if the more you can project your force upwards, the quicker, the more likely you're going to get up, rather than pulling away from the bar.
Yeah, like sense? if you take a heavy pull up, you also don't want to swing a lot. Maybe a tiny bit of swing, because first of all, it's hard to fully stabilize yourself if you have a box set up and not two boxes.
Yeah,
but you definitely don't want to be there. Like, it would feel really bad.
Yeah, exactly. What's your frequency like with muscle up during the week? Sorry, weekly frequency. How much are you exposing yourself to it?
In every training that I do, usually. So it's the 3 or 4 times per week. Sometimes it happens that I don't do it. For example, yesterday I traveled through the day and I just did a light session at home when I arrived. So I did just some sets of pull-ups because it would be like unnecessary effort to go to a bar where I can muscle up, because I can't muscle up at my home bar. There is a ceiling.
I've seen it. Yeah. It wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, you could, but it wouldn't go very well. Yeah.
So, sometimes I skip the muscle up, but it's usually because of simply putting unnecessary effort into a really light session where I just want to do a light movement. And I don't care that much if it's pull up or muscle up, because I'm likely sore. It won't be that productive. I just want to do something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you found, like, how much fatigue, like, do you find affects the muscle up, even affects the pull up in comparison as well?
Like, I would say that fatigue affects both in pretty similar way for me. Okay. Like, I need to have a really fresh CNS for both.
Yep.
But the, let's say, optimal preparation for me is like not fully traditional, or maybe it is, but like I noticed that other people, for example, don't eat in similar ways before the sessions. I'm like fasted quite a lot. Just in my perfect day for hard training, I do just a light breakfast, full of sugar, basically. Then 3-4 hours or 3 hours nothing. Then I go for a run. This is the weird part. Then I get extra sugar, caffeine, and I hit the hard session. So I am like really fasted. I don't even like refill the wasted glycogen from the run, and then I feel like perfect. Then I feel best simply, which is like when I tell someone, okay, I did 10 kilometers run before a brutal strength training, then it's like, this makes no sense. It shouldn't work. But for me, it works extremely well. This is like, it even saves tired days for me. I am like, okay, I need to go run for a run and it will work. It's like really weird, but somehow it works for me.
I mean, if it works, it works. Have you tried anything else? Have you tried other approaches?
Yeah. I had to try the no running one, of course, because of time. And I can make it work. I need to be quite hungry, and I can make it work similarly well. But the feeling with the run, I don't say that I necessarily lift more, but I actually like feel a bit better somehow. It's like actually other people tried it from my like community. I told them, if you want to run, try this before the pull-ups. It sounds really weird. It sounds like you are wasting energy, but I feel always good after this. And they gave really positive feedbacks. I would say that it's maybe a bit exercise specific for some reason, that I would not expect this to work before some heavy pushing or heavy squats, for example. But for the pull-ups, it somehow seems to work not just for me.
Okay.
But
Are these low effort runs? Quite low effort?
Yeah, with low
like
effort.
A recovery
like,
run type pace.
Like zone 2, zone 3, maybe. Like,
okay, yeah. So it's not crazy draining, really.
Yeah. Back then, when I was competing, I sometimes had even like really hard running sessions. For example, I did some hard intervals and then I did the pull-ups, and it still worked. It like I felt I already did not feel good, but I was strong. It's like really interesting. I wouldn't say that people should try like doing really hard running sessions, obviously, even medium running sessions before their strength training. But I tried it on myself and the results are really surprising. I even, for example, in 2021, I was like able to, for example, match my 1 hour pull-ups PR after running marathon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's like, sorry, 2022. Like it was,
okay.
I basically put a tremendous, almost 4 hours of effort to run a marathon. Then I took a shower, ate some sugar, and I did really well on the bar. I even have a video on old account. It's like a really weird thing. Like I suggest no one to repeat this because of injuries and everything. But it worked. It worked, which is really interesting.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, no, for sure. So if your frequency, so let's just say muscle up weekly could be 3 to 4 times. It depends, right? If someone more beginner level, maybe intermediate, would you expose them to that amount of weekly frequency straight away, or are you slowly building up the frequency?
I would expose them to the explosive pulls, like body weight explosive pull-ups, not necessarily a muscle up because of the transition aspect.
Yeah.
But I would give it to them before every pull session, which is usually 3 times per week for most people. And I would say that, for example, intermediate athletes can, when they already adapt and everything, they can benefit from like even higher frequency, because there is, at least for me in my journey, there was like a window when I was really well adapted, and the central nervous system fatigue was not yet a big problem. So
Okay.
I think many people would encounter this to some point, someone more, someone less, that's like really individual, but the frequency through the journey may look like a hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I would imagine it this way.
Yeah. Do you use any movements outside of, say, calisthenics to help support any of your main lifts, like from maybe traditional gym strength training stuff?
I never did any actually for pull-ups.
No.
I didn't need it. I would say that as long as the body can keep it specific,
Yeah.
without having central nervous system issues like with recovery, without having connective tissue problems,
Yeah.
then the specific way, there is like no reason to go away from it. But when something starts to be problematic, like for other exercises, this would not work. Like I don't think that it can work for a squat, for example, because doing all the work in it to provide also enough hypertrophy stimulus and so on, for many people, it would likely cook their central nervous system. They would overtrain. It wouldn't work well. They need to do other work that is maybe less taxing than the exercise itself, that is like a massive lift. But for pull-up, I never felt like I need.
Okay. And then what about variations of the pull-up?
That definitely has its place.
Yeah.
I use a lot of like weight placement variations that changes the movement a bit.
Okay.
If I use weight behind legs, it like the form gets like really shitty, but the acceleration, it's like is monstrous from the start. It's like the theory for me is that I can teach my central nervous system to pull even harder. If it works, if it's worth it, I don't know. It's like it's just idea to be tried. And on the other side, the control of plates can create some like weak spots or can overtrain lower back. So I use no control, for example.
Okay.
Like the plates just hang. I don't touch them.
Yep.
So this is what I play with. If the results are like superior compared to doing just the standard way, I don't know. I don't train that much like the traditional top part, like with pauses and so on, because I don't feel like it helps. Not it helps. That doesn't help with muscle up, but it is harder to combine with it. In the top part, I feel like quite big chest strain, and even though I don't do dips, I still have sometimes sore chest from muscle ups. So like the top post pull-ups are quite tricky for me from this point of view. So I don't have them like in my regular routine. So I play with weight placements, and like obviously the variation that I mentioned is the like chest to bar max power output pull-up.
Yeah.
That's like one I really like.
Okay. Yeah.
I think like for a lot of people who are like interested in competition pull-ups and they don't maximize their muscle ups, they can do the top pause, they can do pin pull-ups or even pin pull-up to top pause. I think the pin pull-up is a really great exercise because it trains the hardest part, and at the same time it eliminates the bottom stretch. And I've talked with athletes who have like problem with chest tendon inflammations.
Yes.
From combining dips and pull-ups, and the bottom part triggers it for them, not the upper part that, for example, is tricky for me with the muscle up. So that's likely a really good option to do, I would say.
Yeah, I'm a fan personally of pin pulls but with the idea of like if to spend more time if you're shit in the top area. But I also know when I spoke to Per Cole a long while back when he was competing still regularly, he was using them not for that reason. He was using them because the stretch at the bottom was too much on his pec, so it allowed him to start from a range where he didn't get the pain at the bottom of the pull up.
I trained with Rok Didakovic from Croatia, I hope from Croatia, and he had exactly the same problem, so he was spamming pin pull-ups.
But it works. Ever use tempo, or is it always pull down?
I sometimes I don't use a tempo that it would be like 3 seconds up, but I sometimes use that I willingly start slower and try to accelerate to max speed later through the movement. It's like some type of form practice for me to avoid compensations at bottom part, and also at the same time to like challenging the upper part. Like that's why I do it, because I find it like a smart choice that like eliminates the hamstring curl pattern and the possible stretch reflex, and at the same time I like have a space to grind quite cleanly with a good initial like position in the top part. So this is what I use, like pull up accelerated at the later stages of the movement. But I mean, it's not like traditional 3, 1, 2 or something. It's like
no, I get that. I mean, I guess you can't take advantage of the acceleration you generate, right? So now you're going to have to, so you're exposing yourself to grind more. So it makes total sense. What about tempo on the eccentrics at all on the way down? On
the way down, I never slowed down actually, because I find it like too far from the muscle up goal. But that doesn't mean that is necessarily useless.
No, so your thought process then, based on what you just said, you're always looking at the pull up. Always, I need to keep it close to muscle up.
Yeah, at least
in a way,
to some point. At least to some point, like for example, some of the variations I mentioned, like the last one, that's not that close to the muscle up, but still, it may help me with keeping my legs more straight and not compensating later in the muscle up. But since muscle up is my main goal and my strongest lift, like because it's my main goal, I want the pull up to like support it to some point.
Yeah. Have you ever used any like isometrics for not muscle up, but for pull up, like isometric holding at any specific points in the movement?
I tried, but I never sticked to it. Like I want to do 100 kg locked, which I still can't. But for that, I will actually need to train it. For now, my best was like 1 rep with 90 kg to neck, and second one locked in quite ugly way that it was like not fully clean lock, but I paused there with chin above. So I should be like 5 kg away, maybe, from the 100. And I will likely actually need to train the isometrics in the top part, or at least like somewhere here. So I simply get exposed to some grind in the top part.
Yeah, that makes sense. Accommodating resistance. So like things like bands, chains, that's probably the common ones. Have you ever utilized those to help with either movement, like pulling against bands or using like reverse band, so it's helping you?
I never used it myself, but I think in some cases it's absolutely reasonable to use it. I think like again, for example, Rock used it to prevent the chest strain in bottom part of muscle up. So
to deload the bottom almost.
Yeah, he took a very thick band And he also took plates for the muscle up. And he trained that way so he could like go around the chest tendon inflammation. But I would say that like for muscle up, this is not something that would be used as a mainstream, but it can be super useful tool in individual case where it's needed. For pull up, it I think Italians do it quite often. Like they have the quite fancy setup with the bend in the squat rack, and the bend gives resistance on the way up. I really like it. It looks really cool, but I didn't build myself set up to even try it. but it looks really cool. It should be a good exercise, I believe. Like a top tier exercise for being able to again grind the hardest part of the run.
Exactly. So programming, periodization and stuff like that, is this something you're into in terms of structuring your own training or maybe clients
for me
go on.
Sorry, finish.
No, I was just going to say, do you use periodization, like say over 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it may be? Are you kind of like seeing how things go session to session? Like, what does that look like for you?
Like I definitely navigate myself session to session. Like I don't have a long-term structure. Like at least not a rigid one. I still have periods with more volume. I still have more strength periods. But it's more based on the process. I simply do a volume, then it goes well. I transition into lower rep ranges, into heavier weights, and suddenly I can call it a strength period. And when I cannot sustain the strength period anymore, I have to go back to volume because there is no other way. But it's like an intuitive process. For example, now I had to go for volumes because there was like massive heat waves in Czech Republic, and I don't react well to this. So after I had some base meet with my clients, where I didn't want to be fully weak, I started like a volume preparation, and we'll see how long does it take before I try to go into some lower rep results again. Maybe in September, for example, when the weather gets colder, and I will be like, okay, I know I can sleep well for the hard sessions and so on. But for my clients, I give them I believe, or at least I hope, very simple to understand structure, that they have 5 weeks of volume, 5 weeks of some transition, and 5 weeks of more or less strength based on their level. Because if they are like only slightly intermediate, I don't really like working in too low rep ranges, so then it's not that much of a strength block, but something like this. Simple 5 weeks, they start with reserve, they build up either linearly or slightly regulated based on their feeling, and then they hit a PR and they repeat the process while being more wise, let's say, and knowing what worked for them. And maybe they are like, okay, you told me to do a block of where the most important session is sets of 10, and I was like, this is endurance for me, this is not for me, I didn't progress on this. And someone else would be like, okay, I spent too much time in the strength, I was like losing drive already in the last block, I need more volume, I need to keep higher rep range present. So this way I approach it. For other people.
That makes sense. In terms of like volume, if the objective is more volume or the objective is more intensity, so heavier weight, in terms of repetitions, do you have like a sweet spot of your muscle ups, you're only going to be between this and this, versus the pull up as well? And like, are they the same?
Like for me, the muscle ups are, at least last 2 years, trained pretty much always in low rep range. Only on few sessions, I do always some high rep work at around 10 reps, for example. But most of the time, it's at low rep range.
What's low for you?
And 1 to 5.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of singles, usually.
A lot. Okay. Do the sets increase because it's only singles, or does that depend on how much volume you want to accumulate?
It depends also on how much pull-ups I want to do, so I don't mess up session by doing too much muscle-ups.
Okay.
But in pull-ups, I usually, when I say that I go for volume, I work around like 10 reps or something like this. 8 to 10. I tend to do hard endurance sets, like one set of hard endurance to finish my sessions in such periods where I take, for example, 40 kg and I do it for 20 reps.
Okay.
So this is the approach I always had. And right now I've tried to do it in a slightly different way. Let's see how it works and if I stick to it. But my plan is to accumulate way more volume in lower RPEs, because usually even at like a volume period, I worked in very high RPEs, but at like the rep range around 10, let's say, approximately. Right now, I will try to work with weights that I would have worked in the previous case, but I will try to do way more sets at lower RPE and therefore at lower rep range. That I will not go into 10 reps, 12 reps, and so on. I will try to keep everything between like 5 to 7.
Okay.
And I am curious what will happen. I consider it like I changed two main variables. That's the total workload with the RPE, like that goes together, plus the rep range. So I'm curious if it works or not for me. It's experiment. I am curious what will work.
I mean, I think you're at a good place now where you can experiment more, right? Because you're already at a top level, so you can spend a lot of time playing with ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the difference won't be big at any case. Like it's still about like training, recovering well, and sleeping and everything. And if that's on point, then I will get decent results or I will keep level. But if I maybe find out some smart way that fits my body at the given moment, then I can progress to something new. So I have to try. Like,
that makes sense.
I am curious. I want to play with it.
How often are you maxing out? And do you ever push to like? Well, obviously you max out, but how often is maxing out for you?
I max out like really often, unless there is some like right now. As I started the volume work, I will not do for some time. On autumn, when I did some volume work, I did not like really max out. But in other periods, when there is a hard session, there is usually RPE 10 muscle up. It doesn't mean that I go for a PR, because it's not like after some peaking process.
Based on that day.
But it's simply best of the day.
Are you ramping up to that? It's like ramp up to a top set, or are you trying to maintain 10 effort every set?
I like build up to the set usually by 10 kg jumps. Maybe the first jump is 20 based on feeling. Like from body weight to 20, but I go all out into all those sets. I pull as hard as possible, but it's like a low weight. It doesn't cause me any fatigue. Like when I do the 30 kg single as hard as I can, it's like it doesn't feel like it. Actually feels better if I do the warm up in this style than if I like try to mimic the same movement pattern or something, which would be like logical other option. But in the muscle up, it just doesn't seem to work well for me. What works well for me is the pulling as hard as I can.
Intent, which makes sense. Are you in terms of I don't know how much you know of like like overtraining systems, and it's kind of like intentional overtraining for a short period of time to almost force your body to have to adapt. And then obviously there's a super compensation once you give yourself time to recover. Have you ever experimented?
I know that this exists,
Yeah.
but I did not experiment with it at all. Maybe I sometimes reached such condition unintentionally that I overshooted a few sections in a row, and then I got rid of all the fatigue, and it was great. But I did not study it enough to implement it on me or even on my clients. Like I just know that there is such way, but I did not use it.
No. How much rest is for you optimal between your big sets? Whether that's different on muscle up versus pull up?
I try to usually rest to full recovery, again with some exceptions, which can be the volume work, where I don't rest to like actual full recovery. But in the muscle ups between singles, I found out that 8 to 10 minutes is really good. Resting more at some exceptional occasion can be helpful when I really need to put myself together. And but in general, it doesn't help me anymore. And in pull-up, low rep sets is same. And in pull-up high rep sets, because in some periods I go RPE 10 in the, as I mentioned, sets 7 to 10 or something like this, then I rest usually 15 minutes or even more, because these sets, when they are driven to like real failure, like not a failure that I can't move from that hang, of course, but like a failure that the last rep is barely to bar.
Yeah.
Then I really need to rest this long to make the other sets like comparably good. Otherwise, the quality, I would do, for example, 75 kg, I would do 10 reps, and second set I would do 7 reps, and that would be like, that's a steep performance decline. I don't want it. I want to do as good as I did in the first set, preferably.
Makes sense. Have you ever intentionally given yourself incomplete rest so that it's obviously going to be more challenging to recover for that next set?
Yes, but it's not something I would do like commonly with the like very high RPE sets. For example, now when I work the volume, yes, I do this. I rest not to full recovery, but in a way that I can complete the next set in a technique that is still good enough for me. So for example, last, what was it, day? On Wednesday, I think I did 10 sets of 3 with 35 kg muscle up.
Yes.
And I rested like from 6 to 7 minutes, and at the end I had to rest 8 minutes.
Okay.
Simply, I would like either fail the sets or the technique would be too dirty. So it was, in the end, it was 10 sets in 70 minutes. That the rest was not full recovery, but as much as I needed to complete, basically.
Yeah. I mean, for yourself, that's it's quite straightforward, because you've obviously got very good at knowing I need more rest. Oh, I'm ready to go. With working with clients, does that become more challenging because you're not there? You can't see how.
This is quite challenging, and on the high RPE sessions, that's like, for them it's the most important session of week. You can imagine it just as 3 times 10 or 3 times 6 based on where they are. And sometimes I got a message. I did 10, then I did 9, and then I did 6.5, and I am like, you didn't rest the 10 minutes that I suggested, or up to 10 minutes that I suggested. You definitely did a short rest time. And they remember, and then it's all good. But yeah, it happens. I think it's a thing that is pretty easy to learn for them. like one day realized that the decrease in performance is not by lacking work capacity or because they didn't eat well or didn't sleep well, but it's just because they don't rest enough.
Yeah.
Then it's all solved, and they do it well usually.
Yeah. I mean, fatigue, recovery, and all that stuff, it makes like a massive difference to performance, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you got anything? So like we have some things, like I might use certain things before a training session, kind of to give me an idea of like, is my nervous system okay? And it could be anything. Obviously we've got things like on our watches, there's like these, these HRV devices and stuff. But like I even do stuff as simple as when I pick up a 20 kilo plate with my pinch it, I know how it feels when I feel good and I feel strong. I feel like I could throw it like a frisbee. Whereas sometimes if I go in and I pick it up and I'm like, that feels heavy, I'm kind of a bit wary of like, okay, I'm going to have to see how today's sessions go because my grip's not feeling good. So there's a high chance my body's not recovered. Is there anything that you've ever done that you do in yours?
Like for me, it's like on the way to gym, it's usually like, it's hard to describe for me, but I know the feeling before a PR session. It's just like, I know today it will be great. It just feels so like a hype sometimes.
Yeah.
But often it's not like a hype that I would be like animal, but it's like, it's a calm hype, or I simply know the feeling. On the other side, I sometimes know the feeling that it's not good, usually slight lower back pain, and maybe being a bit sleepy. That's like a big warning sign.
Yeah.
And also a warning sign for me is that when I visualize some lifts of the training that I'm going to do, I'm not like, them, I am going to tear the bar. I am looking forward to this so much. I want to do it. But it's like, I will do it. I have to. Some of those things are like, that can tell me. And sometimes I just do a vertical jump, or how to say it. And that also, I also feel like I jump high or I jump low, or with good energy or with a bit, and with like I don't record it and measure the height, but I know the feeling.
Yeah. Like there's a lot in grip strength correlating to central nervous system readiness, which is why I say the plate, or I use like those grip things where you squeeze it and it tells you the number, the dynamometer, but also speed and explosiveness. If your nervous system fatigues, speed and explosiveness take a hit. So it explains you using a explosive jump, and know like, okay, I'm feeling snappy and explosive. It makes sense.
I even heard that the grip strength can be like that. It can track the central nervous system state after waking up. That it's like a thing that you test it, but I don't know how. I didn't try it on myself, like how to make, let's say, honest conditions, like because there would be a difference if you wake up and like and let's do it, and if you wake up and you just do it. So I didn't test this on myself, how much would it work, but it should be like heavily correlated to it.
Yeah, or at least I think taking it with a pinch of salt, as they say, not being like, oh, my grip's weak, I'm not going to train, I'm going to rest. That's probably not the best thing to do. But I even find it sometimes where if I try to clench my fist, after I've had like a really big session, especially like I deadlift a lot, so those are fatiguing for me. They really take it out of me. And maybe 1 to 2 days after, I tried to hold a tight fist and I literally cannot do it. And so, yeah, so I'm always just using those things to like kind of gauge of like, I'm going to have to be mindful today of how set training goes. But at the same time, I've had sessions where I feel bad. I've had terrible sleep and I've PB'd, and I'm thinking, how has that just happened? But it happens.
I also use the easy sessions to track the recovery rate. I think it's like, for me, because I do the one movement always, it's like really easy to say, okay, I did a hard session. It was more or less similar as always. My muscles hurt more or less similar as always the next morning. But on the easy day, I see, okay, I do the high pull-ups and I can take this way or that way. And in good case, I am like almost on baseline on the easy session already.
Okay.
And in bad case, I am like beaten up, and that's almost like, okay, I take extra rest day because a few times only I can get back from it so fast. If the recovery rate is not really fast in the first 48 hours, I sometimes take like extra day off.
Okay. Are those easy? So no, hold on. The easy days, what's that based on? On like almost like percentage of max? Like, okay, I'm just gonna be pushing to a very low RPE. Is that what you're basing an easy session on?
For me, the easy session is usually the explosiveness.
Okay.
It's like that's full intention, but of course, like if I had to do more pull-ups, I would just continue. And sometimes I take a risk and I do some hard set to finish when I feel like good, and I would say I'm like, okay, my conditions will be on point and everything will be good. I do this. Of course, it sometimes it means like overshooting the session and needing to rest more, but that I tell session an easy session doesn't mean that I don't reach high RPE in one or maximum two sets, for example. In some very limited amount of sets. And it can still like really work that I wake up the next day and I'm like, there is no trace of fatigue, and I'm like, okay, this was good.
Are they pre-planned, these easier sessions, or are they based on in the moment?
They are like, there is usually just planned that there will be the easy session. It will be on displays that mean I can do muscle ups, I can't do muscle ups, and so on. But I don't plan exact sets and reps. Usually before the session, based on feeling. Like I don't feel like it would somehow help me to like have it more in a more rigid way. I would have to like regulate it at the moment anyway, likely. So
no, that makes sense. Do you to tell you what I would like to get into is maybe like the peaking aspect as well. So what changes to the way that you train when now the goal is to peak because I want to attempt my big muscle up, my big pull up?
For me, it's usually that I work already in the lower rep ranges clearly, and then I do just, instead of, for example, doing the hard, easy, hard schedule, I do hard, warm up to some explosive single, triple chest to bars, for example. They rest, and then instead of the hard day, I repeat this easy session. Then I rest one day, and then I am ready. So that means basically just like I prolong the period of between two hard sessions by like 2 days. And if I like really care, I also reduce the volume on the last hard sessions, 1 or 2, a bit. So I actually am super prepared. But that I don't do like that commonly. I did it before some exhibitions that I wanted to take part in, so I can show my best. But it's like not a common thing that I would do.
I guess for you, you can kind of pick and choose. Like, today's the day, and then just, let's go for it. Exactly. So if it was like, right, Filip, I need you to come to this competition to attempt a 1RM for me on this day, would things change in terms of how you peak towards that day? Like, how long would you give yourself to build towards that attempt on that specific day?
I would likely do the schedule that I mentioned, like just changing hard day to easy day, and maybe reducing the workload on the 1 or 2 previous hard days.
Yeah,
I somehow don't think that more rest and taking it more easy would help me further. Especially considering the experience that sometimes I did my all-time best sets basically on days where I definitely was not after some tapering of the volume or something. Simply the body doesn't need it that much.
Yeah,
in my case, because of the exercises that I do.
Yeah, I mean, even for my athletes, if they're peaking for a competition, let's say it's competition week, we're not lifting anything heavy, but I'm still wanting them to train the movements, but fast, intent, explosive. Because some people like to rest for a whole week, but I find if you're going to rest that whole week, you're kind of just going to start to almost detrain to where you don't feel snappy and explosive, and so
like real full week of rest. I didn't try. I tried a bit when I was on a holiday or university trips and so on. So I couldn't train well, but I still did at least. I still found a place to do, I don't know, few muscle-ups or few pull-ups on something. And it maybe also because it was not my regular schedule, I definitely didn't feel better after such period on the next hard session. I usually felt like not that coordinated and it was like not that good, simply.
Yeah, that makes sense. Injuries for yourself, have you experienced many in your career so far?
Thankfully, not many. I had some biceps injuries on both arms. On left arm, it's maybe visible if the quality is good. This guy here from 3 years ago, there was some simply sharp pain in the biceps. I didn't went to the doctor because I knew that it's not that serious. There was no big swelling or I was absolutely sure that tendons stayed intact and so on. Mm-hmm. So I have no exact diagnosis. What was it? Let's call it a small tissue tear, maybe. I was able to heal during few weeks. On right arm, I had a similar one in biceps.
Okay.
And then there was many small pains that something goes beyond the regular soreness, in triceps, around elbows, around shoulders. But these are such a small things. I think it's a part of a performance sport, and athlete needs to be smart enough to not make it something worse. But they will always happen, in my opinion. Who is 100% pain-free without these small things through the whole year? I don't believe that he trains hard if he is without this.
I don't think you just can't. Even so, before I was pushing strength sports, I fought professionally in MMA, and even in that sport, I can't remember any fight I had where I was 100% going in. There's always something. You're fine, you'll get through the fight, but there's always something. And it's just one of those inevitable things when you're pushing your body to the limits. But it's how you manage them, right? You just need to be clever and manage things. Yeah.
The MMA is there is extremely high injury rate, right? Both in training and in the fight.
Yeah.
That's
do you things when it comes to the mental aspect to your training, is there much thought going into that side of your training, or is it more of just I just lift and that's it?
I want to enjoy the trainings. That's also why I often train in, let's say, unorthodox way without the very rigid programming. That's like I would say that it maybe works better. That I hope I give my clients better program than I have myself, for example. Maybe not,
Yeah.
but I hope. But it's like when there is too much structure for me, it's like it's I'm like a robot. I don't enjoy it so much. So
Okay.
my
Yeah.
objective from the mental side of the training is to like really have fun, to challenge myself, to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's what like drives me to the training like extremely much. I really look forward to it because I know that it will be great.
Yeah.
That I will have a great time. Like I know that on the Friday, I know, yes, Saturday is a training day, hard training day. I will have a good time.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, sometimes uh, I do either something wrong or the body just doesn't cooperate, and then the good time doesn't come because it's suffering.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's part of process, but like yeah, for me, like the joy of the training is the greatest driver into it, and it's like I what I had to fight against in the mental preparation is so that I don't mess up my sleep by like
Okay.
wanting it too much and being too overhyped. Like
Okay.
I wake up earlier before important trainings still,
Hmm.
but I would say that I work with it quite well. It's not before 4 a.m. and so on, which sometimes tend to be. But recently, I work with it quite well, so it doesn't happen that often. Like even before, for example, my exhibition in the end of May, where I
Hmm.
knew that I will be in front of a lot of people and so on, I
Yeah.
managed to kind of sleep.
What
It
kind
was
of
not the
sleep are you getting? What's average sleep for you, time wise?
I I try to go sleep from 9 p.m. to like 6, and I take afternoon
It's good.
naps when I
Good
need.
man.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, in the summer, I struggle with sleep. I have air
Yeah.
conditioning, but not a good one, like not a perfect one.
Hmm.
And even though I keep my regime, I always go to the bed at the 9 actually, but I often fall asleep when it's already dark, and that means that it has to be 11, for example.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't look at the phone, obviously, but I kind of know that I fell asleep way off the plan.
Yeah.
And in the morning, I sometimes also in summer when it's warmer in the room, I also tend to wake up with the light, which is too early. So in summer, the sleep is struggle. In winter, it's way better for me. I actually keep pretty good regime from the 9 to approximately 6 based on like fatigue. If I'm tired, I sleep a bit longer.
Yeah.
And I try to make my schedule in a way that day after hard training, I can take a nap after lunch, which is not always possible. But when I train on Saturday, the Sundays are free. So I actually can do it pretty frequently.
Yeah. I like that. Naps are a big part of my life. Like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
fortunate enough to be in a job where I'm allowed to nap
yeah.
as and when I want.
That's really good.
And and it's like, just those extra, even if it's a 15-minute nap, it really does help, especially if for any reason you didn't get as good sleep the night before. But it seems like you in terms of like sleep quantity, you're obviously ticking that off, which makes sense for you to be able to perform at a high level as well. Because I always, like a lot of my clients, it's one of the big issues isn't necessarily their training, it's they're not sleeping. And then it's like, well, the less you sleep, the higher your injury rate is going to become as well.
Yeah, I really try to promote like sleep schedules similar to mine, despite their
It's good.
individualities. because I always tell them, like to my clients, well, you guys have stuff to do in the morning. You are either young guys who go to school or you go to work. And at least on some days in the week, you simply need to get off the bed at 7 or 6 or whatever. And there is a solution. It goes to the bed at 9 every day. Not like, okay, tomorrow I can sleep to 10, so I sleep at midnight. And so I really try to like promote to them this style of sleeping early and waking up early because the society is programmed this way.
Yeah, that's good.
And also it's like pretty symmetrical around the astronomical midnight. Not perfectly, but quite symmetrical. So I think it can go with the natural biorhythm.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
That is, in an ideal world, the sleep pattern for you is trying to keep it consistent in terms of the time you go to bed versus the time you get up, trying to keep that consistent each day as well.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I try to the bed. I go like every day at the same time, except if I am like super tired when I overshoot training, and then I go earlier.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But in summer, the earlier doesn't work really well. In winter, when it's like I don't like the dark in winter, but for this sleeping, it's like I overshoot training and I can go sleep at 7:30 p.m. and I fall asleep and I sleep till morning, and that's amazing. That's a recovery boost, like
100%. Yeah. That's it. Like I will try. Like there's like a lot of sort of things I'll say to my athletes in terms of, look, these are ways you could like really improve sleep. Maybe you can't realistically do them all, but it's like, for instance, if you can black out your room, that will make a massive difference, because once you start having light coming in, it's going to affect you. I think you mentioned as well, like you're going to bed but you're not using the phone, so now you're coming away from blue light, which again is on point. And then room temperature is a big one, which is difficult in the summer, right? As soon as it gets hot, it disrupts sleep. And
it's even problematic with putting something dark in front of the window, because if I want to open the window in the evening and then I put a big black thing in front of it, the air doesn't change, it doesn't move. So the temperature in the room is not really good, if I would like to sleep in a really dark place, I would likely have to sleep in more warm place in the summer. So that's like it's hard choice. And I usually choose the open windows. I don't even try to make it dark. I just try to make the air move as much as possible.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you're trying to optimize as best as you can in your situation, which is, you can't really ask for much more than that, really. But I like that you make, not even just for yourself, but your clients as well, you make a big point of sleep, because I think it's underestimated. And I think especially as your level of strength gets higher and higher, and the more elite of an athlete you become, the more that's going to make a big difference. Like if I have a shit night's sleep, even if it's like an hour difference before a big session, it could be the difference between not hitting that number I was meant to hit that day.
Yeah. For me, like maybe the night before session, for me, it's not that big problem. Maybe also because I struggled with the, let's say, mental preparation, and I adapted to sleeping less, which is not perfect, of course. But the last night before hard session is not that crucial for me as the nights after the hard session. Like I feel like if I sleep better on the, for example, before the easy day in the 4-day schedule, then I have to take extra rest day before the next hard session. Likely, it's I can't go around it much.
Yeah. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
How old?
How old?
Or,
Age. 20. Yeah. 20. See, so I'm 41, right? So at my age, the sleep thing's even more an effective thing. Like I never used to notice it as much, and then as I've got older, I'm like, oh my god, like if I'm not really on it with making sure my recovery is good, it makes a whole big difference. Whereas when I was 20s, like I could get away with things here and there. So yeah, I guess you'll have that to look forward to.
I also feel like the heavy performance actually tends to mess up my sleep sometimes, and I have heard it from other people too. And of course, I like use caffeine before sessions, but I use it before noon, and I had this even when I was a runner. I sometimes I like to challenge myself, and I, for example, did a run with my friends that was like absolutely off plan, but we made a long run in the mountains or something.
Oh wow!
And we obviously didn't drink like monsters on the run. we were maybe some Coca-Cola, but that's a low dose of caffeine.
Yeah.
And I was totally destroyed, and I couldn't sleep after such sessions. And in the strength, it's maybe less damage by the training, but I drink the monster. So because so I feel like prioritizing the sleep is super important because I am giving a hit by the lifestyle basically already.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me laugh because I had a big session today, and for it I used quite a lot of different pre-workout supplements, which was great for the session. I performed well, but I know tonight I'm going to struggle to sleep. So then it's like I'm going to have to now use other supplements to help bring me down. It's that whole what goes up must come down. But I actually get the similar thing with if I have a big session, sometimes, even though it's drained me, I'm still wired. So sleep's difficult. It can be difficult. Yeah.
I tried to almost, I would say, macrodose magnesium to
that's good. That's what I'll use tonight.
Actually, I think that when I take 800 milligrams of elemental magnesium, that I fall asleep faster and sleep better after the hard sessions. But it's already such a dose that may be tricky for digestion of many people. I would say that some people would have diarrhea if they take near 1 gram of magnesium.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's kind of, one of those ones you probably have to build up to find your tolerance. But I think magnesium, taurine, and melatonin is on my list tonight. Otherwise, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Is supplements something you use much of, or do you just rely more on food?
I use supplements. I use the magnesium. Then I use omega-3. I use vitamin C because I don't eat enough fruits. But otherwise, I think that can be easily gained with the food. I take creatine because literature says that it's good, but I actually feel zero effects on me, regardless of the dose. First effect that I would likely get is diarrhea when I really macrodose it. But I never noticed weight gain. I never noticed extra repetitions in trainings.
Okay.
I was and I tried being completely off. I tried doses up to 20 grams for 3 months.
Daily.
And daily,
yeah.
And nothing happened. So right now I take a few grams in average. Some days I skip. I take it for possible benefit, but I don't feel it. And then I use caffeine as a pre-workout. I feel like it's something. I tried to make my research if there are long-term studies whether it improves performance. I would imagine a group that doesn't use caffeine, a group that uses caffeine, and a long-term process. And I only found the short-term ones that the bar moves faster in bench press, but I don't care. I noticed this on myself that this works. But the long-term one, that's the one that I can't test on myself, and I either did not search well or the research doesn't exist, which is sad because it's not clear if the stimulants and the caffeine, it's like the legal one, but there are stronger ones that are in Czech Republic often illegal, but in some countries they are legal. And for short-term performance boost, it works. If you use it every week on every session, it definitely destroys you. If you cycle it with your training cycle in a smart way, it may maybe give you extra benefit even in long term. But I didn't find any data, and it's something I would be really interested in. But but I didn't find anything.
Yeah, I find it really effective as well. But I think what you mentioned, what I don't like about, I mean, any performance enhancement supplements like caffeine is using it all the time, because I think at some point suddenly, I was taking 200 milligrams. Now it doesn't work. I need more, 300 milligrams.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, I'm competing in 2 weeks. I haven't really used much caffeine, but the last couple of weeks I've started to use it on my big sessions. But then the week of the competition, I'll stop. And the idea is when I use it on comp day, it kicks in like much better than
that's great idea. I would say that this is exactly the way I would imagine it will help. But in the long term process, there are the issues with sleep, maybe even like with going a bit too hard, like how to say it, the CNS protects the body, but when we stim ourselves, it doesn't protect you as well, so there may be more of small traumas leading to slower recovery, I would say. But it's just thoughts. I don't know if it's like that. It's speculation. No big data to support it.
Earlier you mentioned about like the exhibition, the recent one, right? May, I think. May? Yeah. How did you find that in comparison to your usual training, which is in the gym or outside on your own? Was there much effect on like, now I'm having to do stuff on their time because they're calling me out, people watching? Was there much impact, or were you okay with that?
It was like the people watching, it was actually pretty nice. I enjoyed that. And it had two parts. One was just in front of less people, where I could do what I trained for, which was 1 rep max.
Okay.
And in the arena, in front of maybe thousands people, I don't know how many was there actually at the moment. I did something I was not prepared for, because the bar would not like take the muscle up. I would destroy the construction. It was like not fully professional, but I was not like sad about it. It was like, okay, I'm happy that I can be here. And the good construction that was actually not that good, because they couldn't bolt it into the stadium's floor, was on other place.
Yeah.
So my main issue was like the setup. And again, I don't want to look like I am like pissed off the organizer that they didn't provide good setup. I'm super happy that I could have been there. And I expected the setup to be this way. But that definitely affected my performance.
Yeah. I think when you get to that level, like you're an elite in your specialist area, the setup can make all the difference. A lot of it is based on how things are set up, right?
Yeah, there with the construction, there was problem that during initiation of the muscle up, the whole thing shifted a little bit back and forth. It's possible that I simply lose a kg or two, but it's not much. But it's something I was prepared for 57.5 kg on muscle up in non-competition standard form with invalid leg movement. And I was happy to do 55 on first try, and I was lucky to do it. Like it was if they told me do it again for us, I would be like, no, I
Yeah.
can't. Yeah. So this type of difference was there,
Yeah.
and in the actual performance in front of the people, I just enjoyed it. It was nice. I was like, okay, I do some pull-ups with 32.5 kg. I did not train for this. The people don't understand it at all because they were there for strongman competition mainly.
Oh, okay.
There,
Okay.
there was Haftor
Yeah, no,
doing.
you're right. I think we had athletes competing in strongman there at Winning Strength. We
Yeah,
had some athletes,
yeah.
competing there.
There
Yeah.
was big competition. I think like
Yeah.
really high level. I know that I saw the guys doing like extreme deadlifts and log lifts, and I was like, this
Yeah.
is very impressive, and like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, they don't really care if I do 25. For me, it's failure. They don't care.
No,
If I do
no.
if I do 30, for me it's big victory, but they don't care if it's 25 or 30. So I
Yeah,
was
to
like,
them,
really,
there's no difference, right? It's
yeah, it was
yeah,
like they would maybe appreciate if I chose to do some like aesthetic movement pattern, which I
right.
didn't
Okay.
because the bar was pretty low, so I couldn't do my regular weight placement with plates
Okay.
between ankles. I put them behind my calves, and that's
Yeah.
not so aesthetic, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you use much of music for training? Is that much involved?
sometimes I listen to music, but usually not. I don't even own headphones, actually, as you see.
Yeah.
So sometimes I listen to it,
Yeah.
like, or when I travel with my girlfriend to the gym, sometimes she plays some Rammstein or something like this.
Okay. Yeah.
And it feels great, yeah, but it's not something I would use regularly.
Okay. Do you have any ambitions of competing regularly in something of street lifting, or is it maybe something you might just do it once or twice, but you're more about just training?
I am not sure if I will ever compete. I had kind of enough of that in the other sport, and I enjoy the training without having to bother myself with the competitions.
Yep.
But if I, for example, sometimes train in competition standard for longer time, and the world record in muscle up would be still the one that stays today, there would be a really good chance to break it, and then I would maybe consider it. But it would still be unofficial performance because there is no way I qualify for Euros or for Birds without two movements.
Yeah.
But that would be something maybe like clearly it's in my head that it's an option to do in future.
Yeah.
But for now, I don't think I would enjoy the training process regardless of the result that much. Of course, I may fail it. I may not be good enough to do 53 kg in competition form, even with preparation. That's something I don't know until it happens. That's like...
I'll keep you in mind, because the official street lifting brand, one of the big things that I want to move it into is competitions. And we have our own pathway of how we want to progress athletes through the sport. But one of those is every comp that we put on, we allow athletes to compete in 1 lift, 2 lift, 3 lift, or all 4. You can choose. Because I want specialists to be able to get involved in the sport and compete. Like, for instance, yourself, if you just want to muscle up, you just come muscle up. And our idea is, even though they're not competing in all 4, which is like the popular style now, the athletes compete in, say, 1 lift, so muscle up, you have the opportunity to set what we refer to as all-time world records, meaning the biggest muscle up done in competition, regardless, not any specific organization, just it was done in comp, under comp standards, it's the biggest one. So we call them all-time world records. So that could be something. You could come over to the UK one day, have a go. Yeah. That'd be good. But I think that's what's missing from the sport at the moment. I love all four. I love it. However, I feel like if there should be other opportunities, more opportunities for people, specialists who just want to do one lift or two lifts or three.
Yeah, like there, it's also a very tricky question how to even approach this. Some people would imagine some point system in all four that it would make it more fair for the cooler guys.
Yeah, yeah.
But while I really like the theory of making a coefficient 1.0 or 100% for an all-time world record in a weight class, and your score is based on this coefficient in each lift, and each lift contributes equally, then how would you explain this to the spectator?
Yeah, it gets confusing, right? Yeah.
If the sport has to grow, maybe it's really better to just have this total scoring where it discourages a bit to train muscle up when adding from 30 to 40 kg muscle up is way harder than doing it to 200 to 210 kg squat. That's obvious thing, but at least people understand it. It's watchable for public, basically.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And like you said, if you want it to grow, you don't want to confuse the audience with really. I have to get a calculator to work out who's winning. Yeah. You don't really want that.
This guy has total 480 and this guy has 455. Why the weaker guy won?
Yeah. Right. It's funny you say that, right? So this is 2024, and in 2024 at the time I broke the under 66 kilo total world record, right?
Yeah.
However, so my total was 445 at the time. I came second in the competition to a guy who totaled 400 because they use coefficient in Spain, and because his muscle up was a lot higher than mine, he actually beat me with 45 kilos less in his total. But I wasn't aware, so I was thinking, how has this happened? I've just set a world record? How have I come second? And then they told me, we use a coefficient point system, and I was like, what? But yeah, it was confusing for me. I thought they must have got this. It's wrong. It's fine. They're gonna adjust it. But no, I came second. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's confusing even for you as an athlete. And for I would say it's not a good system for a spectator, for the sport.
No, that's it. And I think that's why, let's say free lift, that's why having that option allows, let's just say the squat's the issue, well then if you compete in free lift, get rid of the squat, which is why I want to give the option of what lift do you want to compete in? Okay, muscle up, pull up and dip. Cool. You go do that. Yeah. And just gives option. And then you don't have the situation of having to, but it's unfair. It's just don't squat then. Speaking of squat, with squat dips, is that something you ever plan to play around with, or no interest at all?
I don't think I will start squat. I really didn't do a single squat session in my life. It's really rare for a guy who lives by fitness, but I always trained my lower body by the running. Back then when I was competing, I had some extra exercises clearly for jumping and so on, this type of stuff.
Yep.
Today I am too lazy, so I just run. Maybe it's not. Maybe it can be improved, and that's actually something I would consider improving. But I always I do some sprints, and then I'm the next session is shitty because my core is sore and so on from it. So that's something I will maybe change. But for now, I am too comfortable.
Yeah.
But I don't think I will start strength training for lower body in the gym style. Yeah. With the dips, I also don't think that I will train it seriously. but I expect that as I would get older, I would transfer more to endurance style training, like strength endurance,
Yep.
because it will be simply when I can't move my one rep maxes forward with in a natural way or without like tremendous effort for a tiny bit of improvement. For example, year training to improve by 1 kg in pull up, that would not be worth it for me. So I expect to go into like sets and reps and the multi-lift with 32 kg pull-ups and so on. And part of that would be bodyweight muscle-ups. And for that, I definitely need stronger dip. As I mentioned, my muscle-up endurance right now, I believe, is limited by being very weak in the push.
Okay.
Like
Interesting.
having simply monstrous straight bar dip compared to the load I'm exposed to during the muscle up will likely help.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, yeah, you're attacking your weak links or what will potentially be your limiting factor. So it makes sense. Chin up. You ever trained it?
Chin ups. I trained in the first years. I was like, okay, sometimes I do pull ups, sometimes I do chin up. I didn't care much. I had pretty much equal results in them. But later I moved only to pull up because I was not stronger in chin up. I was not stronger even in the top part, like naturally. And I think chin up is not as safe as pull up. In pull up, I can go. I hope it won't cancel the podcast, but I can go retard mode in some trainings.
We'll beep it.
But in chin up, I would be afraid to because the biceps tendon tear risk is something very real, and there are many people who mess themselves up in the chin ups way more than in the pull ups. So like I see not much benefit for me in chin up, and there is more risk, so I don't do it. I actually tried few sessions this winter. If the top part still feels basically not really good compared to pull up even, I was like, okay, it doesn't feel natural. Maybe with a lot of effort, I can make it stronger than pull up. I can make the lock stronger than my pull up lock. But if it's not like supernatural still, I don't do that. Okay. I don't do this. So yeah.
If you had like if you had a client who was like, look, I do chin up, would you try to slowly get them to transition to pull up, or would this be a reason for you to say, look, we need to maybe do assistance work to strengthen these potential weak links? Like, how would you deal with that?
I would it depends on the person. If I would see that his chin up is simply naturally strong, there are guys who pull 20 kg more in chin up than in pull up. Of course, they train chin up, not pull up, but still there is predisposition. It's pretty clear. I would be like, do chin up. If it would be equal to his pull ups, I would say, like, do you really want to do this chin up? There is more risk and the benefit is small. But if he says, I want to do chin up, I would be like, yeah, okay. I don't think there will be much people who will lose on chin up, like strength wise. I don't think that's common. So I would not tell them like, this is wrong. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But with some exercises to protect the biceps, I would mainly like encourage them to be more careful in the training than in the pull-ups. To really not ego lift. Even this would be likely the main thing, to avoid ego lifting, to simply not finish sets with a half rep already only, and so on. To well estimate their strength through the sets. I am not sure which exercise I would exactly choose to like eliminate the biceps tear risk. But there definitely maybe you would be able to choose some exercise in a smarter way than I. But it should be possible likely to do some preventive work.
Yeah. Would if they were just set on chin up, would you, as a coach, look to still expose them to the pull up as well, or would you
No.
just chin up?
Yeah,
If that's what they want, yeah.
I would especially in some guys like who are chin-up specialists.
Yeah.
Like the pull-up doesn't seem to make sense for their movement pattern. If you know guy Max Preki, Russian street lifter, a chin-up guy, he has like 100.
I have seen. Yeah.
Like he pulls it all the way here.
It's
crazy.
I've seen. Yeah.
Like why would this guy do a pull-up? I don't see much of a point in it.
And then if we take that same context and the athlete is training in all four, so now they've got the muscle up as well, are you saying that all their chin up training, that would be enough pulling strength they need to facilitate the muscle up, and then obviously training the muscle up as well? You wouldn't see any reason to bring up some kind of pulling?
That's questionable, and I would say that some people would have decent carryover from chin-ups, but maybe it would be those guys who also are able to do really good pull-ups already. Like like a guy who has just few kg less in the pull-up, simply naturally, because even without training it specifically. And there would definitely be guys who like lift a serious weight in chin-up and have like a baby muscle up. That will definitely occur, and at such point it can be definitely considered to add some explosive pulling with overhand grip. Maybe just specific to the muscle up, just like quite narrow grip explosive work. That will be low fatigue, which is like really important in for lifts, I believe.
Yeah. I'm still laughing at baby muscle up. Sorry. So if I came to you and I was like, look, Filip, man, I need to improve my muscle up. I need to bring it up. I need to bring up my pull up as well. Where would your sort of starting place be in terms of to bring those numbers up for me? I know it depends, but just a general sort of take on that.
I would say a decent frequency of the and high specificity of the training. Like I would really think that most people can stay like big percentage of their training can be specific, if not 100%. Of course, not for everyone, but a lot of people will take this and it will work for them. So decent frequency, like exposure 3 times per week, for example, or every second day.
Okay. And
very high specificity of the training.
Those, let's say we went with the 3 days a week. Would each of those days would they vary on terms of like maybe one of them's doubles, one's 5? I don't know. Yeah, they're going to vary each session.
I generally like tell to do one session like less sets of high RPE, some like 3 times 6 type of session. Other session is like volume accumulation, let's say, where the actual volume may not be that much higher, if higher at all, than on the previous session I mentioned, but it will be a session of simply more sets. For example, 5 work sets, 6 work sets, at of course lower RPE. And then there would be third session that is weakness-based support exercise. If it's not, if someone is like, maybe not everyone needs a weakness support based exercise for the pull-up. There will be guys who are like pretty much strong through the whole range of motion naturally. Then I would place there likely just some explosiveness work, because it's low fatigue, and that's a big up for this explosiveness work. Like if a guy doesn't need to train the top pass or the top part, then maybe the explosiveness work for light session is better choice, because there is pretty low time under tension. It's low fatigue work.
Yeah. If there was some weaknesses that you spotted in that athlete, so let's just say maybe the top range, what could that look like in terms of how you would attack it?
Some sets at not very high RPE, and in case of using slower tempo or pause, definitely at not very high rep range, because then the set is like too long, unnecessarily long. So even if they, for example, work at pretty high rep range, which I like for pull-ups, because the eccentric portion is not really controlled as in squat or dip. So I think it makes sense to, even for an advanced 1 rep max athlete, to train at around 10 reps sets, but not in a top post pull-up. I would still give him do sets of 4, 3, 5.
Okay.
Not so high rep range, because the set is like way too long. You need to use way too light weight that doesn't give good stimulus anymore. Like I would give him something like this, and the number of sets, of course, so he can recover. If he has a lot of lifts that he trains, it can be 1 top set, 2 easier sets, or just 2 work sets. If he does just the pull up, he can even do like 3, 5 sets even on the easy session. If he can take it, he will profit from it.
For you as an athlete, because you've only got to focus on 2 movements, let's just say you've done however many sets of your pull up and stuff. Once you've done it, there's nothing left for you to do, right? Because some people may utilize assistance work and some other dumbbell stuff. You're just going in, getting the pulls done or the muscle ups done, and that's you finished, right?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe some golfer's elbow rehab and bend work for my shoulders.
Oh, external rotation. Yeah. Is that something you're doing now? Some external rotation stuff?
I do it because that was like really, really funny and really stupid injury that I got last year. It was on training, but it was because of stupidity, not from the movement. I did a muscle up, I failed it, and I threw really strongly with my arm, because I had really good warm-up that day, and I should not have failed it. And I likely got a shoulder subluxation. It was painful for many days. I couldn't do wide pull-ups for some time. And I got a clicking sound in somewhere here, simply, in this movement. And I really didn't like it. And I was like, okay, I need to try some exercises to recover from this fully, because it was like months past. I could train, but it was like, okay, this is not fully okay.
Yeah.
So I tried to play with these rotations. It's maybe too much of amateur way of choosing the exercise that I did. So I don't know if it actually helped. Like the clicking sound is getting away. I feel like better with the shoulder, but maybe it was just time. I can't say that I chose the perfect way to heal it.
Okay.
With the golfer's elbow, I can say that this like
supination
exercise with bands, that really helped me. Like that healed it, and I can say that
it's a good one.
That it really worked. But the shoulder work, I am not 100% sure that it did the work.
Okay.
But it didn't get worse. It got better. So it's good.
I got a feeling I know the answer to this one, just because you're so tunnel vision on your lifts that you specialize in. But have you had an opportunity to see if all this pull work, muscle up work that you've done, what you're capable of in traditional strength training lifts, upper body wise? Have you had an opportunity to test out anything in the gym to see if you've had much carryover?
like it has definitely carry over to a lat pull down machine. That's
So
like
can you and I can imagine full pin all the way, full easy.
I was able to do that a very long time ago when I tried. It was just painful to my quadriceps.
Legs.
But yeah, that I tried.
Yeah.
Carry over to biceps curl, or either like with slight cheat, like standing or strict, is very low in my case, surprisingly low.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if I failed 50 kg competition form strict curl.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Like I don't try stuff like this on purpose because I consider it a bit risky when I am like strong and I try movement patterns that are new. It's like the best way to get a stupid injury.
That's the best way to get an injury. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
But I tried this strict curl, like not for 1 rep max, but I tried some sets and reps. It was 2 years ago, but I already was advanced. I was strong back then already.
Yeah.
And I think that I would struggle with 50 kg clean form. Maybe I underestimate myself because there was fatigue at the moment. But like 50 kg is a good guess in clean form.
Yeah. Would that be this way, supinated, this way?
Yeah. This way.
Yeah.
Like I tried the, how is it called, the AZ bar, and that felt really weird. So I used pretty much straight bar.
Straight bar. Yeah. Interesting. Out of interest, right? Where have you was there a mentor in your life for this strength route that you've taken? Was there anyone you learned from, or is this kind of just stuff that you've just played with and just figured things out for yourself?
Like I had really good examples in my family. My whole family led me to sport through my whole life.
Okay.
Both to the endurance part and to the strength part. Like I had a really good example from my father, who is a climber, like a sports climber. And he, for example, at 50 years old, he still could do 1 hour pull-up.
Nice.
So there was someone to look up to.
Yeah.
And eventually to learn from, especially when I had 0 level when I was a kid. My parents could tell me some basic advices.
Yeah.
Of course, not like a professional level coaching or a good level professional coaching, but it was enough to train somehow.
Yeah.
I definitely missed out later sometimes that when I started as an adult, I didn't know it was like well-established sport, and I definitely missed out some knowledge by just training on my own and not caring enough, because I don't know if I would consider taking a good coach if I was not runner, or if I would be too stubborn back then. But I definitely missed a lot on this. I had to find out so many things in a long time that would be clear if someone told me then. Some movement patterns things, some even plate control things, how to it took so much time to find on my own. Simple or some other coordination tricks. It took months to make step-by-step progress, and if someone told me, it would be a question of a week to learn, and it took months and months and months. Of course, in the end, basically I made it to some level, but I missed out a lot on this, and also because I was still considering myself a runner.
Okay.
But as it's like things that didn't happen. If I was not competing already, if I would approach in a smarter way and did not waste time on obvious things. I don't know, there is video of me doing with a muscle up with kettlebell behind my legs and something like this when I started, some simply things that should not be done, and it's absolutely unnecessary.
No,
so I missed out a lot on this.
Yeah. I mean, you've still got to the end goal. I mean, I guess we're always still learning, right? There's always something we can all learn as we go. But yeah, you've still got there. With your father obviously into climbing, did you get introduced to climbing yourself when you were younger?
Yeah, I did, but I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. I never trained it like regularly. Yeah.
Okay. The only reason I ask is because I've started to see this weird coincidence, maybe a correlation to some really good pullers coming from a bouldering background.
Yeah.
To the point where I thought, you know what, I might use bouldering as my GPP session, just a session once a week where I do something a bit different, but there's going to be something I'm going to be able to take away, some extra grip training that will help in some way to pulling. But I just found it funny that your dad obviously has come from that background, so I just wondered if maybe you had a bit of experience with it. But I guess not.
No. I like there was no serious training process in climbing, so I can't say about the carryover.
No.
What is actually interesting is I had for my clients I made a podcast with a guy who combines climbing and pull-ups, James Cook from USA, and he said that some of the top climbers, top bouldering guys, they have like surprisingly weak pull-up. That they, for example, can't pull 100% of their body weight in weighted pull-up, despite being Olympic level climbers, basically.
Wow. Okay.
But then there are other guys who pull 100 kg at minus 70 kg body weight, and so on.
Yeah.
So it's like. Likely there will be like a correlation between how good you climb and how well you pull up, but at the advanced level in climbing, the importance of the pull up will like stop being significant.
Yeah. That's it.
That it will be simply about other stuff, and he even said that the climbers, the top guys, are usually very light, and that they don't even like do much of the strength work anymore, because it's not what they need. They need to be super light. They don't want extra mass. So that was something very interesting for me. That like there definitely were trends in the climbing where they like trained a lot of strength, but right now the guys like. Some of the top guys, I don't say all, train very little of it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I mean, to some extent as well, you can argue that a lot of the bouldering, you're using a lot of legs anyway. It's not necessarily all, you're not just climbing with your upper body.
It's like, it's like some, I don't know even how to like define the movements. It's just bouldering.
That's it. That's it. Like I've been a few times, and every time I've been told that I'm just using my upper body. I'm not doing it I'm wasting energy by using my upper body. Yeah. Your base group that you mentioned. What is this exactly?
Like it's a system in which I basically coach people. I don't coach one-on-one with some few exceptions, but I made a community where I share my approach to training, so they can study it, they can take program examples from it, and we made further iterations to improve the process in a group chat, basically.
Okay.
Plus, there should be the community aspect that you are surrounded by people who do the similar stuff. They can like compete between each other in a friendly way and so on. So it's like a coaching platform, but it's not one-on-one.
Yeah, that makes sense. So are you kind of almost trying to get them to be a bit more using auto-regulation the way that you do So like you're not set in stone of like today I'm doing this. It's kind of like they have the idea of the system but how they get there is going to be adjusted in the moment,
Like,
maybe.
when they come to the group, I usually got to tell them, okay, use the intermediate protocol. I don't know you yet, and you used something. So at start, I need to give some, let's say, appropriate guess that will not be perfect. It can't be at first.
Nope.
And they can study the content through the time, and they can mainly understand their own bodies with maybe the help of the content that can help them build some intuition.
Yeah.
So some of them have rigid schedules. Some of them have like a very intuitive schedule. And when they have the intuitive schedule, I usually tell them, okay, maybe I don't fully understand what you write me here, or like I understand, but what they told about the system, I don't see it like that clearly. But I see you added 15 kg to your pull-up in last 4 months. You are doing it right. It doesn't matter that I don't see the exact long-term idea in it, if there is any. But if it works and they understand their bodies well, it's like I am happy and they train in that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it. I think the community aspect is definitely an important one as well. Being surrounded by others who are on a similar path.
Like I hope that some of them really benefit from it. And of course, some of them are maybe too shy to benefit from it.
Yeah,
but some of the guys, I even see that they follow each other on Instagram. I see that they comment under each other posts, and that's really cool. I like to see this. But of course, I have like many guys there, and not everyone participates in this community aspect, and that's like it. I can encourage it, but I can't force it.
Yeah, no, I think that will always be the way. But I can imagine even those that don't participate, they're probably still following and involved. It's just their personal preference of not wanting to be super vocal.
I hope that they still like benefit from it. Sometimes I have to like tell them. They ask, for example, for some advices. I did this training, but they are shy, and I'm like, you need to send me the sets here. You really need to send it, because otherwise, you say that your performance dropped, and the first question is your technique consistent?
Right.
Or I didn't improve. Is your technique consistent? If it is, then of course there is a problem. But if the technique went from this to this, then there is no issue. You improved. Sometimes when they are shy, I need to I really need to see it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like my coaching, obviously there is some in-person coaching, but a majority of it is online one-to-one, and it heavily relies on video feedback. Otherwise, me seeing how many reps you did and the effort, I'm like, okay, but that could mean anything. That could have looked like anything.
Yes.
And you need to see things. So I think it's a big part of it. And it helps you as well give the feedback, right? Because you can see more.
Yeah, exactly. And if they don't send, I at least hope they record for themselves and that they like analyze their form. But I don't know if they don't send.
I guess your video and a lot of your stuff, right? I can imagine. Obviously, you upload to Instagram, but are you recording every set, looking back? Is that how you're doing it? Yeah.
I record everything.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's something really unimportant, but I try to record everything.
Yeah. Making adjustments based on what you see if you need to, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's like instant technical feedback. Like I wouldn't do it if there was if there was a coach or a good friend standing next to me and telling me, your left knee is again not straight, but you wanted to make it straight.
Yeah.
That was yesterday's session, like like this. I found out from the videos that this was super easy, but why the left leg again is not straight? It's from some imbalance that I have, that my left side is weaker, and I tend to compensate with the left leg more. So, and it happens. I feel like, okay, I kept tension in quadriceps. My knees had to be straight.
Okay.
Then I watch it, and the left leg, it just is not.
I tell you what. On that note, how much effort do you put into the lower body, your lower body? Of how much, like, squeeze glutes, squeeze quads, point toes, whatever the cues might be? Is there much? How much thought are you going into that? Is it like squeeze as hard as you can, or is it,
It's like I focus on lower body like a lot, because a big part of the total load is between my ankles usually.
Yeah.
So it has to be connected to the rest of the body.
Yeah.
And it depends on the situation.
Okay.
Whether I want to focus on cleaner technique or on just lifting it and so on.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I focus on it like a lot.
Yeah. So because I guess in your circumstances, it could be different in that if your goal today is just unmove and load, not so much importance of too much lower body. But if it was, say, maybe a client that's prepping for competition, you're always going to be saying, look, you need to really make sure you are putting effort into squeezing. Yeah.
It's like the lower body pattern is maybe even the most common technical issue in the pull-ups that I correct in my clients.
Okay.
That I imagine that at start they squeeze their glutes, they go into slight arch, and through the rep they start pressing the plates forward. And if they compete, they have to do it with straight legs. If they don't care, and they told me I don't care, I allow keeping or bending knees, because I don't think that they will like lose in long term on it. But if the pattern is like anything else than this, I'm like, you do hamstring curl and then your knees go side by side and so on. It's because you don't press it forward actively. It's like you need to really do a leg race with the plates. Imagine this. And this is actually like super common issues with the plates control. Or they when they struggle at the top, it often is like they hold the plates, and then there is the sticking point, and they do this and keep. And such issues occur. So I always need to say, like, you squeeze the plates and you press them forward in the upper part, in the sticking point. You cannot lose the core tension. 100%. If you lose core tension, you fail the rep. At least under competition standard.
I couldn't agree more.
So I think it's like
go on.
No, I just wanted to say that it's like super important to control the lower body.
That what you said about pushing the plates forward, for someone obviously training for competition standard, it is super important, because it almost acts as well. It gives you that same advantage of a proper kip. So like knees, it gives you the same advantage, but you're within the rules.
Yes. And they are like really good guys to look at for this technique, like who mastered it, so you can just like actually copy paste it, like from Pericol or from Ludo Adamantium. When you look at their best performances, the pattern is like it's beautifully executed. It's like, so I always tell guys in the chat, well, either look at the weighted pull-up plate control video or look at Ludo Adamantium 130 kg competition pull-up. He does it perfectly.
So good. I say a lot is like results leave clues, and it's like, look at these ones getting results. What are they doing? What can you take from that? And he's another good example. What do you reckon his key is, Ludo? What do you reckon? What do you reckon Ludo's? I don't know how much you know about him, but what do you reckon his key is to have got to the level he has? Because I know he does a lot of endurance work. Yeah,
it's actually very interesting how he does the endurance work, but it's something I like observe in my training too. I said that I use the higher rep sets and I train in. I definitely have a big part of training outside the traditional strength rep range box, but he takes it to extreme. It looks like he starts his volume cycles by doing 3 sets of 40 with body weight and so on. So that's not something what I tried on myself, but it's definitely interesting. It's interesting, and I think in pull up it definitely has its place to do the high rep ranges. Also because of the nature of the exercise, that the eccentric part is like not heavily controlled and so on.
Yeah, I think. I mean, with Ludo, with yourself, I mean, you've all shown there's something in those higher rep ranges. And the way I look at just strength in general is like higher rep ranges. If you can get better, stronger at those, they're going to naturally feed lower rep ranges. Anyway, so it makes sense. Those higher rep ranges, I may have asked this already, so I apologize. But what's high for you with muscle up? Is there a limit of like, no, now we're going too far into an endurance athlete?
Like regular work sets are 10 or less for me.
So under 10, okay.
Sometimes I try body weight, for example, max out to finish session, because it's like a side quest to do really good 20 muscle ups or to do really good 22 muscle ups or something like this. The most I did really good in like really good pace is 20, so 22 I did only 30 in a good pace. And then of course if you allow 1 or 2 seconds at the top, the game entirely changes and you reach totally different numbers.
Okay, right. Yeah. Do you use? I see some people use. I'm going to call it like a no. No, I shouldn't call it that because that's something else. So muscle up, but not pressing the dip out. So as soon as you get to here, just straight back down.
Yeah. I used it sometimes when I wanted to do like higher volume in the session without pumping my chest.
Yeah.
So I did that, but like it's really similar to regular muscle up in most cases. Like I would say that playing with doing and not doing the dip part of the muscle up, it's like, okay, it's small adjustment, but
it's not much in it.
It won't change anything in most situations. Like do it this way or do it that way, both is good.
Yeah. That makes sense. It makes sense. Ring muscle ups is not something you play around with much, or is it?
Yeah, I don't train them, and I am not good at them because I am lacking like the pushing power for it.
Okay.
I cannot go to ring muscle up with just explosive pull and then hoping to somehow survive the transition. I need the transition has to be somehow controlled. The low position, which is unstable, has to be somehow controlled. I don't think I can do 50 kg, for example, on rings.
Do you have any urge to try do that? To train,
like
build up?
I tried ring muscle up on some home session in winter. It was 2 years ago, but I did 2 reps with 40 kg without dip.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, that's like, pretty good. Yeah.
Like it was dirty and so on, but I had some strength, and the straps, they were not really long because it was in living room. Basically,
okay.
Like hanging from low ceiling, and on short straps, I would maybe be able to hit those 50, but if it's proper long strap,
Yeah, stability's crazy, right?
I have no chance.
Yeah.
I would like not stabilize this position, and I would not grind the dip at all.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, wicked. I very much enjoyed speaking with you, my friend. I've just looked at the time and I just realised it's 3 hours. 3 hours in.
Yeah,
and there's me saying, "Oh, just be an hour, Filip. Don't worry, just an hour. Don't worry."
It's okay. I had time and I enjoyed it so much.
I really appreciate your time. It's nice to see your perspective. On how you've approached stuff, especially with the results that you've managed. It's pretty crazy indeed. So we shall leave it there.
Yeah.
My guess is most people have probably come across you in the world of street lifting at some point. With that said, there's definitely a lot of people in my circle that are not necessarily involved in street lifting. So for those that wanted to find you online, what is the best place? Is it Instagram? Is that the best place?
Yeah, Instagram.
And just remind me that I'll link it anyway, so people have it in the description. But your Instagram, what is
it's Filip, then the line at the bottom.
Underscore. Yeah.
Underscore and workout.
Okay, easy. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
And then the base community, like if people are interested in that, what's the best way to try and get involved?
I would say there is a YouTube video about the project, but it's a bit outdated already, so maybe it's not the best one. And because there was a tier when they don't have access to the community, but it was like a cheap one, so they can just study the content.
Okay.
But I didn't like it anymore, and I have time right now, so I like it's not active at the moment. And in the video, it's described as being active. So maybe they just should contact me on Instagram, and they can use link on the Instagram. That would likely work best.
Perfect. Makes sense. So hopefully, because we debut our first competition for OSL in August, and then we've got 2 more this year, so 3 in total. So obviously we want to build up our competitions and get them going well, but hopefully one day I might be able to see if I can get you to come over to the UK to try and officially attempt to muscle up.
Maybe
cool.
Next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. You never know. I'm going to hold you to that now. I'm going to quote you on that. Wicked. All right then, bro. Like I said, great to speak to you. And yeah, I wish you all the best training sessions in the future, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I
Wicked.
Wish a lot of success to you too.
Thank you. Okay. See you later, man.
See you. Bye.